Good afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. Busy day in NFL news as Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf requested a trade, and the team is expected to explore all options. Also, that team cut their wide receiver Tyler Lockett, putting the future at wide receiver in question for Seattle. The Raiders had a busy day today. They will cut quarterback Gardner Minshew. They signed guard Alex Kappa to a 2-year, $11 million deal. They also gave star defensive end Max Crosby a 3-year deal worth $106.5 million with $91.5 million guaranteed, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. The Eagles continue their busy offseason so far as they re-sign all-pro linebacker Zach Bond to a 3-year, $51 million contract, including $34 million guaranteed. The Chiefs are trading guard Joe Thuney to the Bears for a 4th-round pick in 2026. The Jaguars will cut wide receiver Christian Kirk, and Bengals defensive end Sam Hubbard has retired. This is the women's basketball tournament began today in Greenville, North Carolina, where the Lady Vols cruised to a 77-37 win over Texas A&M. They will face Vanderbilt on Thursday at 10 a.m. Tennessee baseball will take on Xavier tonight for its second midweek game this week. First pitch at 4:30 on the SEC Network Plus. And tonight, number 4 Tennessee basketball will head on the road to face Ole Miss. Tip-off for that one is at 8 p.m., and you can catch the Vol Network call the game right here on The Zone starting at 7:30. For your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, what up, Nashville? 3HL is on the air. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. And if you're new to the show, I say that every day because if your feet hit the ground, it's a beautiful day. Hope you're having a great, what is today, Wednesday?
Yes.
Which means it's hump day.
That's pretty good.
Slay Dog will be in. Slay Dog is taking care of very important show business right now. He'll be in here in a few minutes. We'll explain in just a minute. Also, shout out to Dawn Davenport. She had the day off today. She is on assignment, but she did tell us to give a shout out to Vanderbilt Radiology and the PET scan team. She told me they listen to us every day and they love us. So shout out to those guys doing incredible work, trying to save lives and help people and all of those things. Busy Wednesday for you. We've got tons of NFL news. We've got tons of college basketball to work through. We got to hit Slay with a couple of things that might be left over from yesterday. As Slay Dog walks into the building, Slay Dog is here. That was on me. You had no choice. No chance. No chance to get involved.
I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
There you go.
Hump day.
I told the good people that you were taking care of very important show business, and that you would be here momentarily.
Like stuff that we got to have to function. Telling you.
And that's chili with cheese and onions.
Yes.
So that's what we got going on.
Shout out Potbelly.
Shout out to Dawn Davenport, who gave away, what did she give away? Tennessee, South Carolina basketball tickets yesterday.
Did she?
Yeah. In Knoxville for Saturday.
Oh,
guess who won?
Who?
Reese.
Reese and Laura?
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
And it was right after he got off the phone.
Really?
So
Perfect timing.
He was on, he hung up, Dawn gave the tickets away, he called back, and he was caller 5.
Oh, boy.
And he had never won anything on the Zone before.
Dude, Tennessee better be ready.
That's what I said. There's got to be a % chance that Reese and Laura get kicked out of Thompson Bowl.
Or don't make it because they just have to pull on over and be like, you know what, we just stay right here and listen to it on the radio. Like this can go either way. Laura gonna make sure he get that off.
How was Charlotte?
Charlotte was cool, man. It was a long night.
It really was. It was a great night. Like we were texting throughout the basketball. That was some dramatic stuff that was going on yesterday. And it all ended with Vanderbilt tipping off at 10 o'clock Eastern.
Dude.
I mean, 10 o'clock Eastern.
Luckily, they were all good games.
They were all good games.
Yeah. That was rough. I walked out of the studio at 1:15 on the dot. Yeah.
And then you had a rough travel day today.
Man, flights getting these winds. What's going on with this wind out here, man? Just pumping up. So,
yesterday I was walking over to Potbelly, And you know how I have my sunglasses on my shirt like this? The sunglasses blew off my shirt. I luckily caught them with my left hand.
So it was windy yesterday, too.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a big line of storms roll through.
Dogging us.
So that's probably what went through. But I'm telling you, man, we were talking about it. Texas A&M, and Arkansas all needed wins yesterday, and they all got them.
On the road, how difficult it is to win on the road. And the teams that they were playing against.
Yeah.
Like, that was huge.
Texas won at Mississippi State. We'll get into these a little bit later. Yep. But Arkansas able to win at Vanderbilt, which is not easy. Vanderbilt had won 6 out of 7 at home. And then A&M won at home. That was a different deal. So a lot of people were like, that aren't Auburn fans, they're like, oh, man, did they show some holes there? And I'm like, no, dude. Nah. Think about it. Texas A&M had lost 4 in a row.
Yep.
They desperately needed a win.
Yep.
And it was senior night.
Yep.
And so I'm willing
and A&M is good, everybody.
And they're good.
Yo, don't forget that. Like, don't forget, 2 weeks ago, the matchup walking into Florida, that was the reason game day was there, because that was supposed to be a top 10 matchup between Texas A&M and Florida. So that's just 1 week removed from that.
That's right.
So, yeah, Texas A&M's good.
You knew early, too, man. You could see it in their eyes. But coaches, you know this as well as I mean, we both talk to coaches that try to figure out how to handle senior night because they hate it.
Yep.
Like, they love their guys. I'm not saying that, but like Kim Caldwell the other day, she chose to do it after the game.
Yeah.
And so then you end up doing senior night after you lose to a team that had 3 wins.
Right.
That's tough. I bet she never does it that way again.
That was a tough one. That was a tough
hey,
one.
y'all stay around.
Yeah, let's hang out. Nah, we gone. We're just going to go home.
She must have had some sort of message because they won by 30 today.
They came through. Sheesh. I mean, putting it down on Texas A&M. That was Texas A&M, right? Yeah. But the other thing, too, that Texas A&M and Auburn matchup, you got to understand as well, the Denver Jones not playing was humongous. So that's almost for Auburn a bigger blow than Janai Broom sitting out a game. Reason being, Denver Jones is the starting point guard. So you automatically slide everybody into Todd Ferman, who thrives in his role as a 6-man, as a freshman, who played really good, but he's got a different responsibility. And Denver Jones is the best defender.
Pettiford did not look comfortable in that game.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and Denver is the best perimeter defender.
That's
no question about it.
On-ball defender for sure.
Like, it's, to me, in the league, it's Jemai Mashack, Denver Jones. No ifs, ands, or buts about it when you talk about perimeter defenders.
So let me ask you this about Auburn, and we'll get into what happened last night and all these things, but what if they lose to Alabama and lose their first SEC tournament game and go into the thing at 3 losses in a row? Are they still a 1 seed? Like, are they that solidly entrenched as a 1 seed?
To me, yes.
Right.
No question. Because of their body of work, what they've done with the quad ones, they have 16 quad 1 wins. Two quad 1 losses,
which is a record, right?
That's
16?
A record. Like, it's not the next.
The next closest was last week was Tennessee with 10.
10. So now you have Alabama with 10 also. So yeah, I think they are fine. If it was going to be a shift, I think they would. If Duke went on to win the conference championship and got past Clemson, I could see them giving Duke the overall number 1 and then making them the second number 1,
right? Making
Auburn, but they would have to lose every game. And like right now, they're fine. They could lose against Alabama and be fine. Go and win the semifinals, get to the championship of the SEC tournament, and still get the overall number 1.
Should we be concerned about Broom under 10 points the last 2 games?
No, but I do think that shoulder, he got banged up on that shoulder last night, and to me, it looked like it popped out. It looked like it popped out, and they popped back in. So it's interesting to see. See, that's the other thing. Like, if I'm Auburn, we've done our work. I'm okay. Let's get to the tournament. I love the SEC tournament. Bruce would love to do a sweep.
When you're a team like that.
Come on, man.
Right.
We know we're trying to avenge our loss from last year. That's on the national stage. They're, in a sense, in Virginia mode. How Virginia got bounced, and they came back with a vengeance. Like,
people forget that.
Yeah.
Virginia lost to a 16 seed as a 1 seed the year before they won the national title.
So this is what I think Auburn has. They already wrapped up the regular season. They did their body of work is tremendous. The SEC tournament is, yes, you hang your hat on it, you won it. But their goal with this group coming back is the national championship.
It's funny how good a free throw shooting team Auburn is, but Broome isn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
and that's supposedly what he worked on with a great touch that he has.
yeah, he can hit threes.
Right. It's weird.
It is weird. Does it get in your head?
Yeah, it does. And
I always thought it got in Shaq's head. Like,
because you start doing too much.
Yeah.
You start thinking about, okay, maybe I'll put my hand, okay, let me spread my fingers. Okay, let me get the ball out the palm of my hand. Okay, let me get on the fingers. You start doing all kind of weird stuff. You just got to go up there. That's why they tell you whatever motion you get, whatever routine you get, and it works, stick with it. Do not change.
I always tried, when I was shooting free throws at my level, I always tried to make my hand almost as small as it could be. So I didn't have, just on free throws, where I'm not, touching the ball with so much in my hand that there's so many things that can happen.
See, I think that would scare me.
I'm literally like this, like little baby rabbit.
That would definitely scare me right there.
Like a cat. Like,
I'd be like, dog, stop shooting like it. I would tell you, stop shooting like it. You spread your fingers.
I'll make you free throws. Like.
Yeah, I ain't doubting you. I know my guy. Knock him down.
615-737-1045 if you want to. John in the Borough next up. And first up today on 3HL. John, what's up?
What else? I hope you are having a lovely Wednesday afternoon. So I've got a question. You guys are talking college basketball, and I guarantee that the both of you know far more, have probably forgotten more about basketball than I will ever learn. But I needed to ask the maestro of the midcourt a question.
Maestro of the midcourt?
I like that, first of all. I hope you're talking about me.
No, he's certainly not talking about me. Good Lord. I'm not the maestro of anything.
What you got?
If the shoe fits, wear it, right?
That's right.
That is.
So here's my question. So you guys know me. I've called in a bunch, and I'm a big-time Memphis fan. And I've seen where, like, Joe Lunardi and Andy Katz, they're seeding Memphis as like a 7 or 8. And I understand that the American Conference is awful. Like, they are...
Not just awful, it's just top-heavy.
I mean, well, yeah, with one school. But,
well, they only have a one-game lead. They're 2 or 3 in there.
It's like Gonzaga playing in the
right.
ACC or whatever.
There you go.
But here's my question: given how tough their out-of-conference schedule was at the beginning of the year, how they everybody that they tried to schedule was a good opponent. They've got more 1 and 2 wins than any other team in the country, or it's close, something like that. What does it take for them to get, like, how much of that is factored in, and is there a chance that they get, a 4 or a 5 seed?
Yeah, I think when you look at it
To
across
this point, they're 25-5. They're 15-2 in the conference.
Yeah, and that's listen. It's no knock to the conference. I think the work that's been done early is what's going to be in question. When you look at the teams that are vying for that 5 and 6 seed right there, look at Memphis's quad 1, quad 2, quad 3 win. They have 2 quad 3 losses. Like that's gonna hurt. They got 1 quad 2 loss. That don't hurt as bad, but the 2 quad 3 losses, that really stings. So if we just you look at what Houston has done, Auburn, Duke, Houston, Florida, Tennessee, Texas Tech. No, I'm sorry, not Texas Tech. Iowa State, that's right. Iowa State, Michigan State. Like, these teams haven't lost a quad 3 or quad 4 game. So that's what they'll look for as far as the weighing system. It's like, okay, how do we separate these teams? So you start to separate them like, did they take care of the teams that they were supposed to take care of? And Memphis didn't, unfortunately. So I think that's why you'll have them saying that about Memphis. They are 7-2 in quad 3 and 5-1 in quad 2.
We've got some local teams involved in tournaments already. We'll hit on that today. We'll talk SEC basketball. We'll talk about the NFL. And we'll certainly talk about the Titans. When we come back, Coach Mack will join us, presented by Two Rivers Ford. And the Titans spent time with both quarterbacks in Indianapolis, but they got 18 minutes apiece. They're bringing them both in this week. They get all day with each of them.
Uh-oh.
How much, what happens during those visits, and how advantageous is that for the Titans trying to figure out what they're going to do with overall pick number 1. We'll talk about that and more with Coach Mack next, 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, y'all? KellamStemCellInstitute.com is coming to you directly. How? Because they're giving you a phone number to call, 615-850-4415. Hit them up. Talk to Dr. Kellum, set up your consultation, and understand exactly what holistic stem cell therapy is. Let me go on and give you a little brief introduction. That's your body, your cells, your solution. Now, you're probably asking, like, okay, that still doesn't make sense. Well, your stem cells, that's your healing power. They store them for future and continued use. Now, your stem cells, these cells are your body's own healing cells. They're harvested and redeployed based on the needs. Stem cells attack inflammation in the body. So that little pain, that burning sensation when you're getting a little older, regardless if you played sports or didn't, you want to get out there and be able to do your walks? Well, this is it. 615-850-4415. Congestive heart failure, lung issues, autism, and arthritis. Get on board. 615-850-4415. Get the inflammation out your body. KellamStemCellInstitute.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Don Davenport will be back tomorrow. Why are you shaking your head?
You did a thing.
I told you that chili was good at Potbelly.
You said it. I was skeptical.
You were looking for a day cold enough to have the chili.
Yes.
Today was the day.
Hey, man.
You were taking care of show business at the beginning of the show.
Dog. Chris, down at Potbelly. I don't know what you got to do. Man, we might need a big old little pot of that.
Just sitting in here?
Man. God, the flavor in it is crazy.
Coach Mack is from West Texas.
Mack would love it. Now, he wants spicy chili, though, probably.
Is that what it is, Coach Mack?
Yeah, you know what? I've eaten a little bit of chili in my life, and it needs to be spiced up. But if Ron Slay says it's good, and you say it's good, Brent, it's probably good.
Man.
Well, it's funny when you tell Slay something's good that he hadn't had, and then he's getting ready to try it, he puts a lot of pressure on you. And so it's like the whole time he's like, all right. We're going to see. We're going to see, Yorl. We're going to see.
Does Ron Slay really think that you're going to tell him something's good when it's not?
I tell him I like it.
Mac,
Ron, you got some childhood trauma when they told you this tastes good and it wasn't?
Man, Mac, I'm telling you, man, Mac, I'm so picky when it comes to stuff, man. Like, I won't switch up, and I got to smell it. I'm going to barely taste it. Like, it's the texture, the look of it, everything got to be right, Mac.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't think you'd think that your friends would say, hey, Ron, try this. This is really good, and you doubt them.
And lead me down the wrong road. Now, he ain't letting me down the wrong road, so
you go.
Yep.
So, Coach Mack, you were at the Combine all week in Indianapolis. What kind of what kind of stood out to you? Did anybody, like, quick twitch enough to kind of catch your eye?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was I was there for the entire week. And it was a pretty busy week for me because not only all of the podcasts that we did, we put it down 8 or 10 podcasts, when we were there. Also, I was involved in the accelerator program, which was I had to move back and forth between the JW Marriott and then between the center where we were to do all those interviews and then go to the combine workouts Thursday through Sunday. So it was a busy week, but yes, I mean, the first night, let's talk about the first night because the first night was the defensive linemen and the linebackers. And, there were some guys, the main guys of the defensive linemen, some of the top guys, didn't work out, but some of the guys that caught my eye there that I would say that you want to keep an eye on in these middle rounds. Darius Alexander, the defensive tackle from Toledo, I liked what I saw of him on the tape. And then he kind of confirmed it in his workouts and all of his testing there. Alfred Collins, the defensive tackle from Texas, will probably be a round 2 guy. The Titans need some help, both on the defensive front, outside and inside. Landon Jackson from Arkansas, guys, I mean, he really helped himself, and he helped himself from the Senior Bowl on. I mean, he's a solid round 2 player as far as I'm concerned. But 6'6", 264, he had dropped some weight since the Senior Bowl. He looked like he moved a little better because I thought he looked a little tight in the lowers at the Senior Bowl. But his testing, he helped himself. And, a guy that big, he had a 10'9" broad jump, and he 4.69 in the 40. I mean, that's a big dude on the edge that might be able to do something. Ty Robinson from Nebraska, defensive tackle, I did not know hardly anything about. But watched him work out. I really liked him. Let's go to the linebackers a little bit because I know that we're going to talk about those. And the Titans need linebackers. Jihad Campbell, I've heard you guys. I talked to Greg Cosell about him there. I mean, Cosell and I talked, quite a bit there. And I showed him the first initial in my vertical and horizontal draft board. And we got to talking about Jihad Campbell. And I think we both agree on him. I mean, he just needs more time on task as an off-the-ball backer. But, he measured 6'3" and 235, but ran a 4.52 with a 1.53 10-yard split. And the thing that's so important about that, he looked really smooth in his drills, is that most of your linebacker stuff is short, quick burst. And so with a little more time on task, I mean, this is a quality guy. I think he's a top 25 pick in my humble opinion. Looking at him, and then the other guy that I wanted to see work, but he didn't work there, Schlesinger from UCLA, and I like him on tape. And I want to do a little more work on him and then see what he does at his workout. But that was just day one. There were 4 days of that. And so that was my first day with the linebackers and the defensive linemen.
So what do you do with a guy like Shamar Stewart, who doesn't necessarily put the production out there with 1.5 sacks each of his 3 seasons at Texas A&M? But then you look and he's 6'5", 267. He runs a 4.59 40, a 40-inch vertical, 10-11 broad jump. What do you do with guys that test really well, but you have to kind of weigh it with production and maybe what the eyeball is?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. I mean, that's what you've got to and that's why your vetting process has to involve some experience in it, and then you have to meet the guy, talk to the guy, present him with that when you're doing his point of attack tapes in those meetings, and say, you're nearly there. Why didn't you make it? Or why weren't you, more productive as far as the numbers? Because you're 100% right, Brent. I mean, and on the film, when you put the film on, it's not a lack of effort. I mean, the guy moves around. I mean, if you look at that and you see the number of production that's not there, the first thing that comes into question is effort. And it's not, he has effort. That's not the issue. But he's got to get a little more refined. But this would be a guy, that's a part that I miss that I don't get to do now, is be able to talk and interview these players and really get to know them and get a point of attack tape and let them tell me what they're looking at. But you're right. I mean, this is a guy that's got extreme physical capabilities. You do want more production off of the tape. You want more production if you bring him into your place. You want more production if you draft him. But everything is there as a component, and you look at it, you just have to dig, and hopefully your experience, you can find out why he's not getting that production and then get it when you bring him in.
Coach Mack, did you have well, I know you had an opportunity to talk to some coaches, but did you see any players that caught you and was like, any of the big names like Abdul Carter, just from the conversation that you were hearing about their meetings? Did anybody change your mind of what you saw on tape or any of your research?
Yeah, you know what, Ron? When I talk to most of the coaches that I talk to, I don't really ask them about their interviews, because those interviews really, that information is really kind of private to what they do.
Right.
A lot of these things, and again, that's how you gain trust over the years. Is some of that information is meant to be kept private unless it's allowed to be put out.
Gotcha.
I don't put them in that situation. I really don't. I don't sit them down and say, hey, tell me all about who you visited, who you talked. I don't do that to them, for professional reasons. I really don't. Now, you're just talking about guys that show up.
Okay, I can rephrase that for you too, Mac.
To think about when I talk to them about that, there's some guys that jump off, and Ron, I really look. I've got a pretty good idea, about the top 40 guys maybe. But I start looking for guys in the middle of it. One guy that I was really interested in seeing, and then sat with some running back coaches while he worked out, is a guy that probably nobody knows about. But I know Brent is my numbers guy on all this. He'll bring up what he did. But a kid named Bashul Tootin.
That's a heck of a
played
name.
at North Carolina A&T. I have not watched North Carolina A&T film. I'll watch Virginia Tech film. But there's a guy, this running back class is pretty deep. You're going to be able to find some serviceable running backs. And we asked Daniel Jeremiah, really, and the pointed question I asked him when we had him on with us was, where is the belly of this draft? And he said, you know what, Mac, this is a little bit unusual, but the belly of this draft is pretty stout from about 25 to 70. And that's important to know. And so I said, well, the running back class is deep, and I wanted to really look at this Bashul Tootin kid. I mean, take a look at his numbers, Brent. He's a guy that kind of stood out.
Bashul Rootin' Tootin'. I'll check him out. There was a guy I wanted to ask you about, South Carolina safety Nick Emenwari.
Oh, hey, look, freak.
Freak, right?
Freak.
6'3", 221, Coach Mack, 4'3", 840, 43-inch vertical, which is 10 inches higher than Malachi Starks, who's a pretty good player.
Well, this guy's a player too, and we all, I mean, everybody on tape, And then, when you talk to the coaches down there, they expected him to test well, but that was freak numbers. I mean, it really was. And then you watch him. I mean, this is a guy, and as a safety, he will be a first-round pick. Where he goes in the first round, you need to have the right sweet spot hit you in the draft where you take a safety in the first round, but he's going to do it. And I've been to all of these combines. I have seen some freakish performances athletically. That's at the top of the list.
I mean, just crazy, right? So the interviews that Slay brought up.
Yeah.
So they get 45 of these, right? 18 minutes apiece. I timed that out to 13 and a half hours they spent just from start to finish on interviews.
Right.
So they met with both quarterbacks, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. Obviously, they met with, 43 other players, or had the opportunity to. Now Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders reportedly scheduled to meet the Titans in Nashville. I'm not going to ask you to comment on that, but I do have a question.
Okay.
How much more important is that to be able to spend an entire day with these guys, and what goes on?
No, it's even more. It's a day and a half, really. I mean, it's vitally important. And, they're bringing in the top 4 guys in this draft as the first 4 of their 30 visits, which is pretty significant. They're also bringing Carter in. I mean, they're bringing all 4 of those
early next
guys.
week, and then Travis Hunter at the end of the month.
They're bringing all 4 of those guys in, which is big. You asked me about what goes on. This is very well planned out. They've got an entire day planned out with these guys from the minute they land. It will entail a dinner that various people will be invited to go to with them in an informal setting. But then once they hit the building, they're going to meet with just about everybody that they need to meet with in the building. Some of those meetings will take place longer than others, but the important one, they're all important because they get a feel for the building, they get a feel for people that they will be involved in, all the way from the trainer to the strength coach to the community people. They will do that, but once they get to the football part of it, it's huge. Then you're in meetings. What we used to do, and I think most people do it, especially with quarterbacks, you'll have an early meeting with them where you'll go through some of the way your offense is set up, put up and let them absorb a little bit of what your language is, then let them go do something else, and then bring them back in and see what their recall is, and test them on that. It's a very, very planned out, and it's a very, very involved. These meetings are critical, especially for quarterbacks. And these meetings, Brent, and also the meetings on campus, because both of these guys will have on-campus workouts at their pro days, because neither one of them did anything on the floor at the combine. Though these 2 meetings back-to-back are going to be huge. So it's a good idea. They did a great thing by getting them in early so they can let that soak in, and then when they go to visit them, because you've got unlimited time with them when you go to visit with them also on their campus. These are 2 critical times, especially for quarterbacks.
Well, and I thought it was critical to get both of these quarterbacks in now so you can get a better working knowledge of what they are and what they might be, because free agency starts next week. So that's kind of
100% true.
Yeah,
it's 100% true.
So
it was and they planned that out. I mean, all of your interviews are planned out way far in advance. Your point of attack tapes are put together by the coaches. You go over those as to how it's going to work, in the interview rooms at the combine. But these that are going to take place at the facility, they're of utmost importance, and they're very much detailed and planned out. And you're right, Brent. It's important, and I was really happy that they're having both of those guys in their first round of interviews here in Nashville, because that will set the groundwork for the other things they can do with them when they go to their schools.
Yeah, because my guess is they're going to bring in a veteran quarterback, right? And I think maybe I like to read into things, you know that about me. But so how they handle free agency at the quarterback position may tell me things that I might think that make me smarter in terms of what they are going to do in the draft. But it gives them the option, right? Like to then investigate some of these guys that are out there.
And the thing about free agency and the draft evaluation, they go on concurrently. You're correct in saying that. Those are two completely. They're separate in the fact that you're dealing with players at different stages of their career, but they also run concurrently. You really do them both in relation to one another. So your premise is right. Now I don't know who they're going to bring in.
Right.
I don't get into the free agency as much anymore since I'm not coaching, because that comes into a lot of not only your present roster but also your salary cap. All right. When I was doing this, I was deep into that. Now I can evaluate. I just get to evaluate these players on tape. But your point about those thought processes running concurrently, even though they're two completely different thought processes, is exactly right.
I can dig that. Well, Coach Mack, this is what I was trying to ask you. I remember we were at SEC Media Day and just seeing Will Anderson. It jumped out immediately like, this is a dude. Like I couldn't see him on the field and see him up close and understanding just how freakishly big he was. The same thing for Bryce Young. When I saw Bryce Young, I was looking at him like, whoa, I don't know if this brother gonna be able to make it in the league, man. He is tiny, He
walked by us at SEC Media Days, and his shoulders were. It's not that he was short.
No.
It's that he was slightly framed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what that's what I was meaning. Like, did you see anybody that kind of changed your mind where you were like, okay, this is a different looking guy?
Okay.
That's what I was meaning.
From now. Yeah, that's why I love going to the combine and spending 4 days in Lucas Oil. Spending 6 hours a day watching these guys. Because, I take my binoculars and I sit there and because this is really my first chance to see them in person.
Right.
Absolutely. I'll tell you the group that's impressive to watch. And even though you don't have the top tier tackles in this league, the offensive linemen have got some dudes. There are some. This is going to be a decent draft, for guys in the offensive line, especially in the middle rounds that are going to come in and are going to play. And so, yes. The Mimbo kid, if you look at him physically, you don't have to understand whether the football is pumped or stuffed. You look at this guy and go, okay, this dude can play offensive line in the league. And then when he starts moving, so absolutely, and especially the big guys that you look at, Brent brought up a great one in Emanwari. That's a freak when you look at it. And I always get a position right where I can watch the starting line. And when he steps up to the line as a defensive back or a safety, looks a lot different than a lot of the other ones stepping up there. But the big men, and they had some big men, check their times out. Some of these big offensive linemen, they may not be first-round picks, but they will be players in this league. They had some pretty good movement skills, and they still got some size and length.
Mimbu, 332 pounds, 4'9", 140.
Come on, man.
Hey, look at his vertical jump. Think about that. And he's stacked in there. That's not 330 pounds. It looks like a mudslide coming off of him. He's stacked in there.
Definitely stacked.
His arms were 33.5 too. So, Coach Sell was talking about some of these offensive tackles in college, and he kept saying he wanted to see their arm size from the combine stuff.
Well, it's arm length. It's arm length.
Arm length.
And Greg's right there, because everybody in the league wants to see that for this reason. In your center guard triangle, as a center or guards, you've got population around you to help. That center guard triangle is a contained area. You got a population around. When you're out there on the edge, it's you and that dude that's trying to beat you around the edge. That's where that extra length comes in, because you only need a little bit of extra length, Ron, kind of like you are down there in the paint, right? Mm-hmm. You only need an inch or two to be able to get up there and knock the ball away, or to be able to get that rebound. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
There is Coach Mack, presented by Two Rivers Ford. Coach, great stuff. Thank you.
Guys, it's my pleasure. Ron, enjoy your chili.
I appreciate him, man.
There he goes. Coach Mack, 615-737-1045. Big Skinny is on hold. He wants to talk about the Vols. We can do that. Teron Davenport and Jeremy Fowler with a great piece on ESPN.com today.
I didn't dive into that because I was waiting on us.
Yeah, and we'll get into that at some point. Also want to run by a couple of things that we went through yesterday by Slay Dog, including a list of notable available quarterbacks from Spotrac. 20 names on the list. Daniel Jones is on here.
That's my guy.
And so I did little nuggets on all these dudes.
You
I
shouldn't have did none on anybody else, just Danny Dimes.
Okay, well, he's going to be 28 in May, and I thought he was older than that.
I told y'all he's young.
He's young. He's 27 right now. He's going to be 28 in May.
With them wheels. Don't forget them wheels he got.
Going into year 7, can we get a 2022 Daniel Jones? 3,205 pass yards that year, 708 rush yards that year, so 4,000 total yards almost. And the other part of that is he had 15 passing touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns. So 22 total touchdowns and only 5 interceptions.
Then his offensive line fell apart.
So what was going on? Was it that? Was it system? What?
Coaches?
So, yeah, we're both on Dan. Don kind of turned a little toward Dan.
She always trying to do something when I ain't here.
Yeah, she did when I read through that stuff. All right, more 3 until next. 104.5 The Zone.
Y'all, I'm in love with my truck. But if you think, hey, maybe I would love a truck, guess what? It's officially truck month at Two Rivers Ford. So how about the #1 selling truck in America, the Ford F-Series, which I drive a F-150 from Two Rivers Ford, and it is the best ever. Durability, towing capacity, not that I use that. Technology, I love that part of it. It rolls right over the competition. And when it comes to Ford trucks, no one has more than Two Rivers Ford. Over 200 F-150s in stock with all the trims, all the colors, all the options. So you can get exactly the truck you want at Two Rivers Ford, and they always sell their F-150s below MSRP. Everything's upfront and honest. Their sales team doesn't work on commission, so there's no pressure. They're just there to help you. They do business with integrity, and they'll take care of you. And that's exactly what we found. We now have Two Rivers Ford vehicles in our driveway. Take advantage of special trunk months savings and test drive the baddest truck on the road. Go see my friends in Mount Juliet at Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Tennessee at Ole Miss tonight. 8 o'clock. Can catch it right here on 104.5 The Zone. Any chance of maybe an emotional hangover coming off that Alabama win, going on the road at Ole Miss?
I don't think it's necessarily an emotional hangover. I just think Ole Miss is good.
Okay.
like you know what I mean? I don't think you have to kind of point at anything about it. Like, Ole Miss needs a victory.
They do.
Bad. Like,
they're 4-3 at home in SEC play. Mm-hmm. Tennessee's won 7 out of their last 8 games. The Vols have won 2 in a row on the road. Tennessee by 2.5, 8 o'clock ESPN 2 tonight.
Yeah.
This is going to be a 40-minute game.
Absolutely. Tennessee will be able to have an advantage going to the boards. Ole Miss doesn't box out at all. But when they get hot in Oxford, they can change the game. Sean Padula is a really good player. Juju Murray is a good player at the point guard spots. But Malik
Little
Deal,
headband action going on at Ole Miss, too.
Yeah. You know, I'm rocking with it. I love it. So they got to be able to impose their will, get some points in the paint, and just don't give up second chance shots. If you can do that, you can walk away with a victory against them.
615-737-1045. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Push, please.
Hey.
What up, Zeph?
What's up? Don thought I was crazy yesterday for having some doubts about Tennessee coming in this game versus Ole Miss.
It's not even that you had doubts. It's that when I asked you that question about do you think there's an emotional hangover, you didn't say anything. You're just like,
He was stuck.
I don't,
Did you get stuck, Zeph?
But she took that to mean that you thought that Tennessee was going to lose to Ole Miss.
No, I didn't say they were going to lose.
I know you didn't say it. That's how she took it.
I also didn't say it was because of the emotional hangover. I said, hanger. I said it was because Tennessee's been too inconsistent on the road this year.
I mean, like, who's been
They've won 2 in a row on the road.
been consistent on the road outside of Auburn?
And that's a fair point.
Alabama. Those 2.
That's also.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
everybody else, it's tough out there in these streets.
it's hard.
615-737-1045. Big Skinny.
Big Skinny, my guy.
What up?
Hey, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing today?
What up?
I want to tell you something, Slay. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to change the outlook on it. You seem a little doom and grim, but we're going down there tonight and we're going to beat them down, son. That's all we're going to do.
Hey, no, Big Skinny, this is what you got to understand, man. I'm trying to give y'all an analyst outlook. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want the fans, Slay? Hell yeah, we're gonna beat the hell out of Ole Miss down there. And that's what it's supposed to be.
There's
every
only one
single
thing you
time.
know.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Oh, we
You
know.
better believe it.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah, ain't no question about it. I just thought y'all wanted the analyst part of it. I can leave that up.
I'm always in for the big orange. Cut me, I bleed orange Slay. That's what I love. But that's all we know around
Hey,
here.
you
Big
better
Skinny.
believe it.
Listen to me. I told y'all last time I called in, we was going down to A&M. We was going to whip them. I'm telling you again tonight, Mississippi ain't got nothing for us, boys.
You sure
And
did.
you know,
You called
the
that.
last time I walked in there and I throat punched my little Kentucky friend, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to hit him right in the throat, and then I'm going to say, kitty. I'm going to hit him right in the throat, juggler. Boom. That's what I'm going to do.
Big Skinny said, I'm going to hit him again.
Big Skinny.
Hit him one more time. We won 7 out of 8 and all that. We'll hit him one more time.
So,
This guy's gonna stop hanging out with you, Big Skinny.
I love it. I love it, Big Skinny.
Boys, I appreciate y'all having me on. I just wanted to call in and say, love y'all.
Well,
Go Big Orange.
Before you go, the last time you called, I thought it was amazing that you were going to the club at 3:38 in the afternoon. Is that where you're headed now?
Well, no, not that early. It don't open till 4, so I can't get there that
All right, brother.
I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate
See
you,
you,
baby.
How about that guy?
I love it. Want some more of it, baby. That's what I'm for. I'm here for that.
So Reese from Reese and Laura won the Tennessee South Carolina tickets yesterday, so they're going to Knoxville
Good for them.
on Saturday. Could you imagine watching a Tennessee basketball game sitting next to those guys?
Nah. I don't like watching the game with people, period.
That's hence the boom boom room.
Yeah, exactly. Because I like people go into nervous wrecks and then emotional roller coaster. I'm already on the roller coaster. I don't need to get on somebody else's roller coaster. That's 2 roller coasters. There's too much going on.
We've all learned because of Slay's opinion about this to not text during games.
Yeah, I just muted. Zeph ignores that. Zeph
yes,
that's why I always got to mute the chat until after the game.
Zeph has kind of learned, though, because, like, he used to, like, if Tennessee started out down 12-4, he'd be all in there like they're going to lose and all this stuff.
He's still in there, Euro.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You had to hit him the other day with it.
Yeah,
like,
I did. I forget which game that was.
Yeah. It was the A&M game where the first 3 possessions were turnover, score, turnover, score, turnover, score. And I was like, well, great start.
Yeah. See, Zeph, hey, man, I can respect it. I love it.
But you don't want to be on that ride.
No. Mm-mm. It's the game too long.
I love that description. You've got your own ride. You don't want to jump on someone else's.
Yeah, like that's a double ride. I don't know.
I did talk to when Reese called in that following Monday. Do you remember what he said about that game where he was going to wait until Tennessee got down and then he was going to bet it? Yeah, and then I told him on the phone, I was like, Reese, as soon as Tennessee turned the ball over 3 straight times and went down 6-0, I thought of you. And he goes, hey, that's when I put my bet in.
I see.
Reese loves it when Tennessee starts out behind because then he bets money line Vols.
Yes,
that's what he does. He wants them to start like 10-2.
He does. He's betting on the comeback every single time. You're exactly right, you are.
Is Ramon the same way? He'd rather just deal with the game himself?
See, he can watch. He cool watching it with me.
Okay.
We share the same sentiments. We've tried it, though.
I used to get very emotional during games. Now I'm like, what am I doing? I can't. It's like golf. Like, what do you actually expect here?
Now, I will say, in some games, though, like the game Saturday.
Can't control it, though.
Yeah, Saturday, like, the way that unfolded, I was like, dog, this can't be happening, can it? So, that's a little different. I get that one.
What game was Saturday? I've already forgotten.
I was going to say Vanderbilt, but that was Alabama.
Oh, Alabama, yeah. Mayshak.
Mm-hmm. I already forgot it that quick. Hopefully the team does, too.
Right. Mm-hmm. See, that's what I was asking you about. How easy is that to do?
I think that's the good thing for the fans to cling on because we're the ones on the emotional roller coaster and riding the high.
I wouldn't be worried about it if they were in Knoxville, but like for some reason it always feels weird for me from a fan perspective when Tennessee goes to Ole Miss or Mississippi State. Like there's something about those two places where
it's tough.
Weird things happen.
Yeah, it's tough to get to. It's tough to get in. You want to get out of there at the same time. Like this is the other part of it, man. I think. The reason I don't see a hangover is because it was Mace. If this was Chaz, it would be different. If it was Zakai, it'd be different. Like Shaq, that's not what his game. His impact isn't based off of scoring. So it's not like he's automatically thinking, "Man, I got to make this first shot. I'm about to ride this hot wave." That's not him. He does so many other things. Like, that's how he impacts the game. That's the bonus part of it, what he did.
I'm going to ask you a question about that when we come back.
Ask me a question, you.
And maybe tie it to 98 Tennessee football.
Okay.
And just from a former athlete's perspective. And we'll do that. And we'll go from there. 615-737-1045 if you want in. Avery's dad is next up. Jump on in, and we'll get to you. 3HL1045 The Zone.
We've got the trucks, all the trims, all the towing, all the bells and whistles, and all at Truck Month Savings. Two Rivers Ford is Ford Truck Central.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
Good afternoon. It is 4:01. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. In NFL news today, Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf requested a trade, and the team is expected to explore options. Also, the Seahawks cut wide receiver Tyler Lockett, putting the future at wide receiver in question in Seattle. The Raiders had a busy day today as it was announced that they will cut quarterback Gardner Minshew. They also signed guard Alex Kappa to a 2-year, $11 million deal and gave star defensive end Max Crosby a 3-year deal worth $106.5 million with $91.5 guaranteed, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. The Eagles continue their busy offseason as they re-signed all-pro linebacker Zach Bond to a 3-year, $51 million contract, including $34 million guaranteed at signing. Also, the Jaguars are expected to cut wide receiver Christian Kirk. The SEC Women's Basketball Tournament began today in Greenville, where the Lady Vols cruised to a 77-37 win over Texas A&M. They will face Vanderbilt on Thursday at 10 a.m. Tennessee baseball will take on Xavier tonight for its second midweek game of the week. First pitch is scheduled for 4:30 on the SEC Network Plus. And tonight, number 4 Tennessee basketball will head on the road to face Ole Miss. Tip-off is at 8 p.m., and you can catch the Vol Network call of the game right here on the Zone starting at 7:30. For your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Amazing.
Twitch, please. Sorry, Slay and I were having a conversation about chili.
I heard amazing at the end of it.
I told him, man, I'm about to bring in some of that chili, dog. That is amazing.
The potbelly chili?
Oh, my gosh.
I'm so happy. I was feeling so much
Dog,
pressure.
hey, man.
Slay kept saying, because I recommended the chili from Potbelly.
We did that 2 weeks ago.
Yoro, this better be good.
Like, you just can't recommend chili. Chili, like chili.
Flippantly. Just
man,
can't
what?
do it.
Chili?
Yeah.
Out of all things? Like, man, that's
also,
so
it's
flavorful.
hard to find good chili.
Yes. I'm telling you, I know it's going to sound weird to people as picky as I am, but Wendy's chili? Cold-blooded.
I remember Jason Martin telling me a story about Wendy's chili one time.
No, don't mess it up for me, y'all. Do not do it.
He used to work.
Do not do it. Do not do it.
Carol on YouTube, we were talking about how do you consume games, because Slay would rather enjoy his ride during a game and not be affected by other people's ride, meaning like Zeph on our chat feed.
Right.
Or if Zeph happened to be next to you in the Boom Boom Room.
Yes. I'll put him out of the Boom Boom Room.
So Carol writes, where'd it go? There it is. Sounds like my husband. He hated watching football with me because I bitched too much, she said.
See what I'm saying?
It's so hard sometimes, but like you realize like there's nothing I can do about this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's why I compared it with golf, because at some point, like, I didn't start playing golf until I was in college, right? Like, so it's not like I'm some kid that's been playing for 15 years by the time he's 25 or whatever. And so I used to get so mad on the golf course, and I'm like, why? At some point, I was like, why? What do I expect out of my golf game to make me upset when I'm enjoying a beautiful day for 4 hours?
I'm supposed to be having a good time, Yorl, and all of a sudden you just go off the rails. Like, no, this is not how it should be. Let's get it together.
So every once in a while that does pop out when I'm watching basketball games and football. But Slay's always quick. Like if any of us puts anything like, oh man, Vols suck today or something like that hey, it's a long game.
Like, please.
Calm down.
Please remember.
Or you just mute it and you don't respond to anything.
I've been muting it as of late.
615-737-1045. Remote Foster is in the chat. You can visit with Big Savagery.
What up, Savage?
Vandy Man AD agreed Wendy's makes good chili. It is good chili.
I'm telling you.
It is good chili.
It is, really, really good.
See, I knew these messages would start popping up about Wendy's chili.
Dog, chili is fire. Fire, F-Y-E.
Do you see William Wade?
Let me see now.
Billy Wade.
So you knew the story. Bro.
He's a Hall of Famer from Vanderbilt.
Why, William Wade, why would you do that, though? Like, why? Listen. All right, y'all, listen. Everybody wants y'all to listen.
I knew these messages would come when we mentioned them.
If I'm having a good time and, like, I'm outside, I'm in the park, and you see me playing with a raccoon.
Boy, what kind of visual that would be. I'd immediately get on my phone recording.
Yeah, and do that. But if I look like I'm having a good time, leave me alone. Record from afar. Like, I know the dangers.
Like, hey, Slay, that raccoon, or what was it, squirrel? That squirrel could have rabies.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that. I'm having a great time. I know the raccoon could scratch my eyes out. All right, cool. Leave me alone, though.
Raccoon.
Until that happens. If that don't happen, let me enjoy it. I'm fine. Don't spoil the chili for me, y'all. Wendy's chili is great to me. Let me, if it's something weird that I'm putting in my body, hey, my body reacts good to it. If I'm supposed to have 93 fuel and I keep putting 87 in it, I'm doing okay.
Oh.
Leave me alone. I'm all right.
For a while.
You're?
Don't put diesel in there.
But if I'm running right, let me put diesel. I'll put kerosene in there. Just let me run right, y'all. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. 615-733.
Your buddy next to you know the story. I don't care if you know the story. I don't want to know it.
Well, I don't know the story. I know what Jason Martin said.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Shout out Jason Martin. J Mart, 615-737-1045. Tennessee and Ole Miss coming up tonight. Tennessee by 2.5. Number 5, Florida at number 7, Alabama.
That's going to be a game.
Bama by 3.5. 6 o'clock on ESPN2. Florida in their first halves have not been great lately.
Nah, I wonder what Zach Lyons is thinking about that game because he didn't have much to think about with Tennessee and Alabama because he said, he wasn't even worried about that game. But
is that what he said? I never even talked to him about that game before or after.
I wonder why. For both reasons. He wasn't worried about it before, and he wanted to forget about it after. But this is a hell of a matchup, man, coming in. I think the front court, Florida got some dogs down there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they got a lot of interior players, and they are skilled.
They can score, but they also affect shots.
Yeah, and they can pass. Like, they got a really, really good team, and they're playing hot right now. But Alabama coming up the loss that they did, I expect Alabama to bounce back on this one. It's going to be interesting to watch. But Mark Sears, the last time they played bigger guards, watching them play Auburn, they kind of struggled a little bit with Denver Jones and Miles Kelly getting up under them. Elijah Martin is a really good defender. Walter Clayton Jr. is a bigger guard. Will Richards is a bigger guard. Like, that's some length right there on the perimeter. I wonder if Alabama's going to be able to get those same looks. So it's going to be a good matchup.
Number 15, Missouri at Oklahoma. Missouri favored by 4.5 on the road. 7 o'clock SEC Network Plus.
That's going to be a good one.
For that one.
Missouri should win that one, though. Oklahoma needs it bad.
Yeah, they're
do. Right there on the bubble. If everything holds true to how things went yesterday, Oklahoma wins against Missouri.
Did you see the stat yesterday? Speaking of front court.
What?
And A&M's ability to rebound the basketball.
Nuts.
Off their own missed shots.
Nuts.
At one point, they had missed 34 shots and had 24 offensive rebounds. How's that even a game at that point?
I mean,
credit to Auburn.
Yeah.
You should have been blown out of the building.
No question. I thought the best thing for them in that game was them getting the offensive rebounds. Usually they always kick it out for threes. This time when they kicked it out,
they reset it.
Yes, they reset and penetrated again to get a high percentage shots.
Yeah,
which was cool. So they're picking and choosing when they shooting them wild threes, which is good.
Wild threes.
They are. Them threes are wild, boy.
Your text to me was LSU stayed home. Kentucky ran LSU.
Like, what the heck, man?
95-64. Cats hit the 20-win mark. They're 9-8 in the SEC. They play at number 15 Missouri. So Kentucky needed that win.
Yep.
But they ran LSU.
Missouri, is that Missouri's? Oh, that's going to be a good one Saturday.
Yeah, it's at Missouri.
Yeah, I'm taking Missouri in that one already. Home game.
Oweh had 24-8.
Oweh is a dog. He wasn't nothing like that at Oklahoma. He just got there and got unlocked in that system. But Oklahoma, man, I want to see Oklahoma get into the NCAA tournament. It's going to be difficult, though. 4 wins in the conference. They did a really good out-of-conference schedule, but I don't know if that's going to hold true for them.
615-737-1045. I'm going to roll through let's do this first. Let's talk with Avery's dad because he's on topic here in Franklin. Avery's dad, what's up? How are you?
Hey, man, what's up, Slay?
What up?
Slay, you said the winner of the SEC would have 3 losses. Do you still think that's true?
Yeah, I do, man.
I forgot about that.
I do. I'm glad you brought that up because Fishback said it was going to have 5, I think.
What a call that was.
Good.
Because if Auburn loses to Alabama, there you go.
Yep. I do think that, man.
Also, Mayor, can we get hashtag not a sports radio T-shirts made?
Oh, man.
Slay wasn't here for that. The very first message on YouTube yesterday was 3HL's not a sports show.
Well, thank you. What the hell? It's 3HL.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm about to put that out. Hey, yeah,
you can't box us in, man.
4 losses, baby.
We talked yesterday. Actually, it's funny because yesterday was primarily all sports.
Well,
but
I was listening.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You gonna put that
out
out
there? Y'all keep doing what y'all do, and I'll keep listening.
Appreciate it, brother.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
I forgot all about that, man. So they snuck up and got this second loss. They need Alabama. Alabama, that's gonna be tough senior night.
You said that before the year started, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So here are the 20 quarterbacks, and I'm not going to go through all their things, but the 20 quarterbacks that Spot Track put out yesterday that are notable, available quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready? Here we go.
Look at Savage.
Zeph in our ear. Right as I say that, Zeph goes, break. Yesterday, he caught Babs in a situation like that. She was getting ready to make a point, and he goes, break right before she did it. And she turned around, looked at him, and said, Zeph, we're going to break when I say we break.
Zeph, you just trying to do your job, man.
Babs was on one yesterday.
I love it when she's like that.
All right, here you go. Ready?
Yep.
Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jacoby Brissett, Jameis Winston, Daniel Jones, Mac Jones,
not the Mac.
Gardner Minshew, Marcus Mariota, Joe Flacco, who's 40, Carson Wentz, Taylor Heineke, remember him?
Yeah.
Trey Lance, former number 3 overall pick, Cooper Rush, Dallas probably keep him, Mason Rudolph, Jarrett Stidham, Zach Wilson. I'll hit on a couple of these.
All right, let's do it.
When we come back. 615-737-1045. We'll do it at 4:45, actually, because Todd Ferman is next. We'll talk sports betting with him. Bet the Board podcast, 3HL 1045 The Zone.
Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. You need replacement windows. You need replacement doors. You're building a house. You need new windows. You need new doors. Or maybe you're adding an outdoor area that you want to close in and you need windows. Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville can do every single bit of that, and they're going to do it really well. I can speak to that because I'm also a customer of Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville and would love to recommend them to you. Couple of ways you can get a hold of them. One, you could just stop by one of their 2 showrooms, which are a lot of fun to browse all the windows and all the doors. You can pull different things out and push them back and see what you like or what you don't like, what would go with your house. And you can do that in Franklin at 277 Mallory Station Road, or you can also do that in Hendersonville now, 256 East Main Street, 2 different locations, same great staff, Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. You can also just hop online and schedule a free consultation. Check out the Dawn deal they have going on for March. Just ask them to give it to you. They'll take care of you. Go online at PellaNashville.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Babsy on assignment. She'll be back tomorrow. Zeph Dog is here.
What up, Zephyr?
What's up?
Todd Ferman is here with all of your women's basketball tournament betting propositions for you.
Little old Todd father.
Todd, what's
yeah,
up?
I'm gonna have to defer to you guys on that, but it's always disappointing, Brent, when we end up trading out Babsy for Slay. It feels like an overall downgrade in talent level.
What is wrong with you?
Look, Slay, I mean, I figured you would have taken the week off in celebration of what we saw transpire at Knoxville on Saturday with that big win against Alabama.
Man, listen, the madness has begun, Todd Father, and we got to settle in, put a seatbelt on, because we got another game tonight on the road at Ole Miss. So we ain't got time to enjoy that.
Before we get to that one, Todd, from a betting perspective, you really wanted, like if you had Tennessee, you really wanted overtime.
Oh, that's the only way you were going to have a chance to cover. So if you're that's where it's always different. You spend the first 59 minutes rooting for your team, and you spend the final minute rooting for overtime and something completely diametrically opposed. Is the forever formidable roller coaster that is sports betting and those folks who choose to ride it on a week-in, week-out basis.
So, big Tennessee fan that had a lot of money on the Vols and minus 3.5, which is what it was, is at that point rooting for his team to not make a shot.
I'm hoping that if you're that big a Tennessee fan at that spot, knowing what's at stake, you're going, all right, I can sacrifice my bet at least for one day to hope that Tennessee has a much more favorable draw when it comes to the field of 68. But when you're looking at those numbers, Tennessee still slightly better than even money to be a number one seed in the field. But you did see Alabama's number plummet quite a bit, drifting out to plus 170 after that loss. And we know what the Tide have in front of them with a tight game, at least on paper tonight against Florida. And, of course, the Iron Bowl rematch to close things out this weekend.
I like you being in tune with basketball like this.
Does Tennessee?
I mean, look, I'm trying, Slay. It doesn't mean it's going to be profitable at the window. I've done some homework, but the betting amounts pale in comparison to what I'm putting into play for the NHL and, of course, NFL and college football all fall along.
No question.
So, where was I going with this? Does Tennessee, Todd, need to win both of these regular season games, these last two games?
I don't think they have to win both of the games. They have to get it worse to split and then make a deep run in the SEC tournament. If they do win both games, then it gives you a little bit of a mulligan and some breathing room in that regard. But there's no doubt, at least on paper, tonight's game going to be a much bigger challenge than what they should see in the regular season home finale against, the Gamecocks, where they'll be, anywhere from a 14 to 16 point favorite. Tonight, you kind of walk into the Lions' den against an Ole Miss team who has struggled, looking to try and turn things around. And for the Rebs, I think they have 10 players that are going to be honored for senior night, including a lion's share of that starting lineup. So you're going to get Ole Miss's best shot. So if there's any semblance of a hangover for Tennessee, they're going to be in for a 40-minute fight.
Yeah. Makes sense. It makes sense, Top Father. It's like, where are you with Duke and Auburn right now, with Auburn going down as far as overall one seed, though?
I think Auburn's game against Texas A&M, you hate to say it now because hindsight's always 20/20, but that felt like a scheduling loss as much as anything else. Mm-hmm. Auburn fresh off of securing the SEC regular season title, A&M limping, playing with a level of desperation, and, watching that game, Auburn just couldn't match any of that intensity that we saw from Texas A&M, and that's kind of what you get late in March, where teams have very different motivations in front of them. For me, look, my biggest concern that I have with Duke is, what does winning the ACC really prove to us? You go through the non-conference schedule. They lost to Kentucky, albeit way back in November with a young roster. You lose to Kansas in one of your marquee non-conference game again, back in November. And they had a dominant performance against Illinois, if we want to use that as a measuring stick. But that Fighting Illini team was a shell of itself. So I think you have to defer to Auburn as the number one overall seed, just given the strength of schedule that we've seen. And as long as they don't stub their toe, make it at least to the SEC semifinals, which last I checked with the bracket is winning one game, they should get there. Now, where Auburn fans may not love my other spin is that I think Cooper Flagg deserves to win the Naismith. I think he deserves that Player of the Year award, being the most dynamic player for even a Duke team with a lesser strength of schedule. So I think Auburn number one overall seed, but I think from an individual honor standpoint, Cooper Flagg ends up getting that award.
So this is my only problem with this one right here, Todd Father. A year ago,
Tom Crean just said the same thing to us.
He did say the same thing. And this was my pushback with him, too.
Yeah.
The only problem is a year ago, we were in this same situation with dominance by a big, And when you talk about being a dynamic scorer and what he brings to the game, Dalton Knecht was doing the same exact thing, and it was given to Zach Edey. That's what I'm saying. I'm with you. Cooper Flagg is doing that. He's doing it in a dynamic way, leading his group. But in this situation, when you look at the teams that they played, it's not even close.
Oh, I think you're exactly right. I mean, strength of schedule-wise, I mean, there is no comparison between what Auburn deals with on a night-in, night-out basis compared to what we've seen from the Duke Blue Devils. The only wrench that I'll throw in that particular comparison, if we go back to last year, Slay, is that neither of the players you mentioned there are going to be the number one pick in the NBA draft. And I think, for a lot of voters, whether it's right or wrong, that does factor into the human nature of this award, and I think that may end up pushing Flagg across the finish line. It's not a market that I've bet into, but it has been one that's a lot of fun to watch when you see the wild swings and some of the volatility there. So for any bettor that's kind of paid attention, you've been able to grab prices of 4 or 5 to 1 on Broom. You've been able to grab 2 to 1 on Cooper Flagg. You kick back, throw your feet up, and just kind of collect the arbitrage situation that you've created for yourself. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch. And when you look at the betting market now, I mean, I don't agree with the price here either. Flagg has moved out to a minus 550 favorite, which is an implied probability of more than 80%. I don't think that's a fair reflection of where those guys are, but that's kind of how the betting market views things at this current juncture.
So when you talk about value, there's no value there.
No value, in my opinion, on Cooper Flagg. I think all of the value, if you're looking to put up a little bit to make a lot or a little bit of a bigger score, the only player that you could bet in this two-way market would be Broom at right around 4 to 1.
And see, that's why Brandon Miller should have won National Player of the Year, because he had the potential to be the number 2 pick in the NBA draft.
It's one of those things that I think is always difficult, not just for this award with the Wooden, but when you're looking around, whether you're voting on the NBA MVP or the laundry list of awards that are available for the NFL, it's not just handicapping the on-field or on-court performance. It's trying to handicap the voters and the way you think they're going to go into their, mythical ballot box and choose to vote for these awards. So you look at some of the history that's out there, you try and figure out their thought process and peel back the curtain there. Because if it was as straightforward and transparent as the black and white looking at box scores, you would never see a price with Cooper Flagg right around minus 550.
Right. So as a Naismith voter, I'm wrong to just write down Zakai Ziegler winning it?
I mean, look, you would be like some of the other voters that have been ostracized before. And Brent, you would be like a lot of the Major League Baseball voters who just don't want to have somebody get in as a unanimous selection the first time they're eligible to get into Cooperstown.
I love it. While we were talking about Auburn, Eric on YouTube with a great point. I miss having Dawn raked over the coals over Auburn losing. She did text us last night about being upset that they lost, and my response was, there are 3 losses all year, Babs. And she was like,
I mean, that game means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things. And the way you could have spun it for her, you go, Babs, you can have that win against Texas A&M. You lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Which one means a little bit more? Pretty sure she would get a lot better perspective. And look, for Dawn, I understand her frustration and why she's clinging to all these Auburn wins and losses on the hardwood, because all she accumulates all fall long is losses on the football field. So she's got to try and celebrate something, because they don't have a dual threat athletic program like you guys are building in Knoxville right now.
T-Man615 on YouTube. Todd Father is the only person that consistently has wins over Slade. Not in betting Slade, just in banter. Actually, probably both. Todd is a beast.
I always let Todd win, so you feel great walking away from this. We need him to come back.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Slade. But you know what? I'm going to flip the script for you. When you look at that second tier of SEC teams, your Tennessee, Florida, Alabama, which team, in your opinion, do you think is the most complete roster right now that you think makes a deep run when we get the field announced that could be, quote unquote, matchup proof regardless of opponent?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Florida, and it's no question at all. Just from the interior that they have, being able to get a 7-footer like hand locked and back, where you are able to get guys like Condon and Houck to be able to play around the perimeter. These bigs, so guards win championships. That's what it is. And when you start talking about tournament play, tournament style, when your guards are getting pressured, and say Florida was playing Houston, and it's difficult to get the ball up the court, You have a guy 6'10", 6'11", in Alex Condon and Thomas Houck who can bring the ball up or be a pressure release, and you can continue to run your offense and eat them up. That's what they did against Auburn, getting those back doors. They did against Texas A&M. Like, these guys being so skillful, and not only can they pass out of the high post, but they can shoot the three. So now you got two big, hungry, gorillas down there in Chenaloo and Hain-Logden that can control the paint and defend the basket. So I think, man, as far as how the health-wise and who's playing the best right now going into the SEC tournament, to me, is no question Florida.
And you know what? The betting market agrees with you. Florida is the third shortest shot to make the Final Four behind only Auburn and Duke, the way things sit right now. And I think this may surprise some people as well. If we go away from the SEC, Dukes and the Houstons of the world, the next shortest shot on the board, the St. John's Red Storm at a price just north of 4-1. Starting to get to the point for me with them that they're almost overvalued.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see what matchups they get when we get the field of 68 drawn, and if there's going to be an opportunity to bet against them, as difficult as it is to do, knowing Rick Pitino's track record of success in March.
And yet that's the biggest thing. Like, how do they play in March with the size? Like, I'm with you, man. Who are they playing in the Big East? Did they get hot at the right time? He's starting to implement his game plan and let these guys get after it. Like, Rick Pitino fouls a lot. And it's just, as an official, you're not going to stand over there and look at him and call fouls over and over and over when everybody's doing it. So you get a little bit of that. He's built confidence in the team, and they go 7 deep. And that's it. That's where it stops. So it's going to be interesting, dog. I'm with you. They got to be overvalued. They're going to get – somebody's going to be heartbroken because they're going to pick them to go to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I think that's a team to kind of watch when you're filling out your bracket. And the other team, though, when you go through a lot of these, forward-facing rating sites that are out there when they assess teams, my eyes not anywhere near as sophisticated as what you see. But this love for Gonzaga, continuing to call them a top 8 team in the country with the way they play defense. I mean, you can go down to the local Lifetime Fitness or YMCA and see guys that are more engaged on that end of the court than what we've seen from this Mark Few bunch.
Hey, man, let me just say, I'm so proud of you. I'm beyond proud of you. Like, you got your basketball cap on. I know over top of it it's a hockey cap, and then you got your NASCAR headphones on. But I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of how you.
He just doesn't have any confidence in it, though. But
it's a different business, and I mean the biggest challenge with college basketball. I mean, and I tell people all the time, it used to be one of the most inefficient markets that was out there. Some of these situational spots and scheduling you could take full advantage of, but now a lot of those things for the quick proverbial 2-minute handicap are kind of built in. And as the laundry list of teams that are on the big board in college basketball, north of 350 that are out there, I mean, guys that are successful betting college basketball are following these teams day in, day out.
Yeah.
They're in tune with what the rotations look like as much for Duke and Auburn as they are for Western Carolina and Bellarmine. And when we spend as much time handicapping football at the college and pro level, just not enough hours in the day. So unfortunately, as much as I used to love college basketball growing up and follow it throughout college and such, it's just been that one sport I put on the back burner. And rather than pretend to be an expert when it comes to handicapping, try and pick off some spots. And right now, stay in tune with the Division III college basketball tournament with my alma mater, the number 1 overall seed.
Who's your alma mater again?
Wesleyan University. I know everybody will be glued to their edge of their seat watching D3 hoops. Brent, if you gave me a map of some of the other teams that are in the D3 bracket, I couldn't even tell you what state they were located in. Let's put it that way.
That's what I started thinking about. Like, where is Wesleyan? And I know that you grew up in Chicago. There's no way I could tell you where Wesleyan College is.
Don't worry. Most people can. It's in Middletown, Connecticut, a proud member of the New England Small College Athletic Conference, with programs that aren't exactly household names, with Hamilton, Amherst, Williams, and a couple of the other spots that are out there. So, yeah, no one really pays attention. More often than not, it's not going to exactly move the needle. March Madness in New England for those college campuses, not quite the same as across the SEC and the Big Ten.
So this is where you played college hockey?
Yep, for 3 years, and then decided that I would pursue a profession outside of what the NCAA smiled upon and chase after my gambling dreams, knowing that I was never going to get a cup of coffee at the next level. At about, I think I was tipping the scales, maybe at about $146 and 5'10". Not exactly the prototypical build for a Division I goaltender, let alone someone going to get drafted in anything other than men's league.
I would love to have seen you like in full gear, standing next to Pecorine in full gear. That would have been something.
I mean, look, and this is going to kind of tell on myself. The nickname that I had as a kid growing up, because the goalie skates are so big and my legs were so skinny, they used to call me Big Bird when I would come in before I put all my gear on. Because if I didn't have the pads on, I looked like I had full chicken legs. And then I'd get last laugh walking out of the rink when he gave up a goal or pitched a shutout playing for some of the better teams. And the coaches kind of look and go, that's that little twerp that went out there and beat us. And, they say when you lose, you say little. When you win, you say less. And that was kind of my mantra as a kid growing up.
Todd Ferman with us, our guy in Vegas. So speaking of hockey, you buying in on the Preds now? You going to go on a run with the Preds? They scored 6 goals last night.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm buying in on, given the fact that their stock tanking just as fast as what we saw from the Boston Bruins. I think the bigger question that we'll see is, will the Preds make any moves between now and the deadline on Friday?
Right.
What Barry Trotz elects to do with Andrew Brunette. He's clearly not going to fire him in season at this point for a year that's already been lost, but will they bring Brunette back? The problem that the Preds have when you look at that roster, 2 contracts that they're going to be committed to, and Jonathan Marchessault and Steven Stamkos, you're not getting off the books anytime soon. So I don't think it's as simple as a quick wave of the magic wand, making them competitive in the Western Conference again. But I do think they're better than what we've seen for 60-plus games so far this season.
What do you have tonight? What are you in on tonight?
Honestly, nothing on the NHL slate as it stands right now. The closest for me would be the under in the Maple Leafs Golden Knights game, but I'm sitting patiently waiting for a 6.5 that I don't think is going to pop in that game. However, I did bet a game for tomorrow that I'm happy to give to the loyal listeners.
Hey.
Play the Utah Hockey Club at a pick'em, -105 on the road against the Red Wings. 2 teams, in my opinion, heading in different directions. I think Utah, one of the more undervalued teams in the league right now, getting healthy at the right time. And if you really like to live dangerously, maybe even willing to take a flyer on Utah right around 5-1 to make the playoffs. If they can get hot, I think they have a chance to get in as a wild card team in the muddled mess that is the back end of the Western Conference.
I did tell Todd Ferman your story about betting hockey earlier this season.
Oh, you didn't tell him. You didn't tell him about the challenge that we're going to put forth for Slay, though, right? Once we get into the slower portion of the season.
I don't remember the challenge, but I remember him betting on the CBJs, but he didn't know who they were. So now they're the fighting CBJs.
Yeah, those
to
are my
us.
boys.
Yeah, so Slay, we put together a little bit of challenge for you, but we're not going to tell you exactly what it is. We'll wait till college basketball is over, and one day on air, I'm going to let Brent and Babs kind of surprise you out of nowhere, and we're going to test your overall NHL IQ and see exactly where you sit.
Todd, Father, let me go and tell you this now. Outside of naming players, I might shock you. I might shock
All right,
you.
then look.
I don't even remember what the challenge is. So
I'm going to see. That doesn't
Players'
shock me,
names
Brett.
are too hard, dog. Players' names
No,
are
I'm
too
not
hard.
going to have you name players. I'm not going to do something that granular.
Right.
Something a little bit more from a macro level. We'll set an over-under on exactly how many of these you can get correct. We'll lay it all out. We'll turn it into a nice game. We'll have some fun with it.
All right.
how'd you do in NASCAR last week, Todd?
You know what? We actually did find ourselves on Christopher Bell. So it worked out relatively well for us on race day. But for those racing fans that are out there, my Stay Green partner, although Stay Green is kind of on hiatus for right now, I encourage you to check out his pre-race poll. I send it out. He breaks down the entire field after practice to give them a better indication. Since NASCAR lines, for those folks that don't follow the sport, they have some of the wildest swings in terms of what you see on a Wednesday versus when those cars have unloaded, practice, and you really have a better idea of exactly who's going to be fast on track. But we went back to the well, did bet Chase Briscoe, who we bet last week, let us down a bit, but backed him this week at 16-1 again at Phoenix, hoping that he can crash the party.
And then they're in Vegas next week. How popular is NASCAR in Vegas?
Not as popular as I'd like to see. I think part of what's changed some of the dynamic around that is the fact that we have 2 dates on the NASCAR schedule. So the race in March, the weather is significantly better, and you get some casual fans that are rolling in there for that. But the race that we get in the playoffs is much more meaningful. So typically that has become a bigger draw over the last, I want to say 4 years, since NASCAR has put a second Vegas date on the NASCAR schedule.
All right, who are you going for in Phoenix? Chase? Who?
Chase Briscoe. There are a number of chases, but in this weekend, you probably couldn't go wrong if you bet Chase Briscoe or Chase Elliott. So I'd have no problem rubber stamping either of those two going into the race weekend before we get a better idea of the real drivers to watch.
Or Chase Bank.
I don't think I'm not familiar with his skill set when it comes to being a NASCAR Cup driver, Slay.
Just trying to get you on your toes. That's all.
I appreciate that. Look, you got to keep me honest as best you can. I respect that.
All right. There he is, Todd Ferman, Bet the Board podcast. Todd's all into NHL and NASCAR right now. Thank you, Todd. Good stuff.
Always a pleasure, guys. Enjoy the games tonight, and we'll be watching that Vols Ole Miss game. Should be a fun one.
Yeah.
See, here's the problem that Todd has. He was rattling off all that college basketball stuff, and I was watching you. You were like, "Oh, he's on it.
He owned it, dog."
But he doesn't trust himself.
No, he don't. No, he do not.
Maybe we should all learn a lesson from that.
Nah. I like not trying. I got a parlay.
Yeah, for tonight.
Yep. I did it while my flight kept getting delayed.
All right, parlay coming up. So thanks to delayed flights.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
You can lose money. All right. More 3HL parlay coming up next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now? Even a couple $100,000 maybe? Well, if you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto is the best. We utilize them to refinance our home and then get money out to do a massive home improvement project. And it was the best thing we've ever done. Loan Pronto, the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash so you can pay off credit cards or start the remodel project I just mentioned. Loan Pronto has several very easy options to let you access the cash. Virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and oftentimes you don't even need an appraisal. We didn't need an appraisal. You can get pre-approved in as little as 1 day. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. Act now. It's no hard credit pull up front. They'll take care of you, get the money you need for anything. LoanPronto.com. You can even start the entire process online. 615-499-5780. That's LoanPronto.com at 615-499-5780. Loan Pronto, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. If Babs were here, she would want a Tennessee score. Zev, what you got?
It is currently 0-0 in the bottom of the first as Tennessee is taking on Xavier for a second midweek game in a row.
Yesterday, Tennessee fell behind 4-2. They're undefeated, and they've blasted everybody. They did have a 7-5 game, but they were down with 4-2, and I was like, Zeph, you nervous? And you were like, no, I'm not nervous. I'm like, they're going to win 12-9.
No, I'm not nervous.
They won 22-9. I misjudged Tennessee, but Tennessee hit 3 grand slams yesterday.
Yeah, Will Bowling on the call. Got to call 3 grand slams.
The record, as you pointed out during the break, and we were watching this last year because Tennessee flirted with it, but the record for grand slams in a season is 14. They hit 3 in one game.
Yeah. What, at 12?
They're at 7 through 12 games right now. Last year, they hit 12 throughout the entire season.
That's what I know.
Yeah.
I knew it was something. I knew it wasn't tripping. I do got a parlay. Let's do it later.
All right.
Couldn't even say anything. There was a lot that just went by. It's like
it was. There's a lot going on in my head right now.
It wasn't anyway.
I wish I knew this game was going. I would have bet on that.
I haven't bet anything really since football.
Max $10.
You said you're going with the Bussin' with the Boys juice or something?
Yeah, so they got 50% profit boost.
At FanDuel?
Yeah, FanDuel, but you can only bet max $10.
You want me to text Taylor one?
Yeah, Taylor, what y'all want? What the hell are we supposed to do with that? $10?
$10 make
Who
it
the hell
all.
we going to feed?
You better pick something with some crazy odds.
That's all it is. Yeah, you got to pick. You got to see. That's why I be coming with 15-leg parlays and stuff. Nah.
I mean, if you get to bet $10, you probably do need to go 15-leg parlay.
Probably true. You know what? I'm going to do that.
Or just, hey, call Taylor one. Let's put him on, see what he can do.
Yeah, Taylor, what you doing? You and Will.
Those guys are everywhere. Now that's Bussin' with the Boys on FanDuel?
Yeah. It's called boosting with the boys.
Boosting with the Boys?
Yeah. The boys are boosting, y'all. If you see them coming through, stand clear. They're boosting.
Do you want a stat that'll make Tennessee fans go, hell yeah?
Please.
And Vanderbilt fans be like, man, why you got to bring that up?
What?
Vanderbilt has 7 home runs on the season. Tennessee has 7 grand slams.
Wow.
Tennessee leads the NCAA in home runs. And you know who's in second place?
They just played 3 games in a major league ballpark, too.
Yeah.
You know who's in second place?
Who?
Or at least was before yesterday's games?
Who's Zephyr?
East Tennessee State University.
How about that?
ETSU.
And so, do you know what's even crazier than that?
What?
I have no idea.
On the run that Tennessee was on last year?
Yeah.
Going to the national championship? Y'all remember we kept on hearing, just wait until next year. This team he's supposed to have next year is supposed to be better than this team.
He told us that.
Yeah.
Like off the air. But that was kind of publicly said.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he thought.
Well, I think he's right.
I was telling somebody the other day, my buddy Scott Curry.
Hey, Scott.
See, he's one of those guys, like Metro Nashville did us a disservice over at JT Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Because they split JT Moore in terms of high school into Overton and Hillsborough. So like half the school went to Overton. So you got these friends that you've grown up with, and then they go to Overton. And you're like,
Right.
what am I going to do with that?
Yeah,
Like,
how?
am I going over there?
Like, come on, no. Sorry.
It's not how it worked back then.
Nope.
My mom ain't driving me all the way over there.
Overton?
Plus, why am I going to an Overton high school football game? I'm not. I'm going to Hillsborough. So anyway, we were talking about Tennessee baseball, and I'm like, yeah, they're better than they were last year. Doesn't mean they'll win it because too much has to happen, but they've got pieces this year that they didn't have last year.
They got some arms. Tell everybody about your boy that you love on the mound. So
Oh, Liam Doyle.
He loves some Liam Doyle.
Man, that's the number one fan club leader right there.
Can't you
Liam
see
Doyle.
Zeph like at Cracker Barrel in his locker? He's got like this framed picture of Liam Doyle.
I'm gonna get him a Liam Doyle jersey. What's the number? What number is he? Zeph? 1?
No, that's
I actually don't know his jersey number.
Oh, come on, you ain't no real Liam Doyle fan.
And I know his name. That's all I need.
Hey, listen, Liam Doyle's mama knows what his number is.
Yeah.
Mama got
No,
him
see,
Doyle.
here's the thing. So, when Chase Burns left Tennessee to go to Wake Forest, I heard all these things about going to the pitching lab at Wake Forest. But people forget that Frank Anderson, the Tennessee pitching coach, has put together some incredible staffs over the last 4 years for Tony Vitello.
Yep.
And at one point they had Chase Burns, Chase Dollander, and Drew Beam as their 3 starters.
Yep.
And they just keep getting better. Like this staff right now, they're not solidified in their week in rotation. I still think they're
tinkering. Yep.
But, they're going to do that until SEC play. But bringing a guy in a transfer who had a 4.5 ERA with Ole Miss last year. He was kind of middle of the pack in terms of SEC. Coming out and just start dominating, like that doesn't just happen out of a coincidence. That's because Tony Vitello and Frank Anderson know what they're doing with these guys.
Well, exactly what they're doing.
It is impressive what they've been doing with these guys on the mound consistently year in, year out.
Great.
I can't tell what number he is. I can't get there from here. He is 6'2", 220. This is a lefty that throws 98. I've already told you, like, fastballs look different coming off a lefty than they do a right-handed pitcher.
He's number 12.
12.
There you go, Zeph.
Good job, Zephyr.
By the way, Zeph, he didn't work at Cracker Barrel his one day last weekend. He's not working there again this weekend.
Oh, this is a streak.
Yeah, I might never go back.
Oh, Keith. Keith, I told you should have gave me that apron. With them, you should have gave me 5 stars.
Zeph, I think when you go back, you should put a gold star. Go to Michael's or something and get a gold star and sew it on there. Yeah, it just show up with a 5-star.
That's him.
And not even say anything.
He's already done that. He's done it with the stars he got now.
See what people say.
Not no real stars.
So I was looking at these 20 names yesterday.
Yes.
Notable available quarterbacks from Spot Track.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam Darnold, my guess is that he's going to re-sign with Minnesota, right?
Why would they? If they keep him, why not?
Both teams, both sides want to make it happen. So usually in that case, it'll happen. Kirk Cousins, going to be 37 in August. I don't want any part of him. Achilles in 2023. His last 5 games played, they were 1-4, 1 touchdown, 9 interceptions. He got benched. What was the contract? $180 million?
A bankroll?
Yeah, it was. I think it was.
I thought it was 2 something.
It was
too
much.
For Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
I think it was $180 million. And 100 of it guaranteed.
To go back up Michael Penix Jr.
Crazy.
Russell Wilson, 36 years old, maybe going back to Pete Carroll and the Raiders.
Right.
Justin Fields, my guess, stays in Pittsburgh. Jimmy Garoppolo, who the hell cares? Jacoby Brissett, one of the ESPN guys, listed all 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. His judgment in 2025, he had the Jacoby Brissett starting for the Titans. I'm like, that dude can't even beat out Will Levis.
Yeah, what?
And Will Levis turned the ball over 18 times last year.
I'll take Jacoby as a 3rd string, though.
Right. So then it depends on what you're doing.
I say all that to say we don't need him.
Right.
We straight.
Okay, yeah. Jameis Winston.
It's your guy.
31 years old. Last 3 seasons, 19 touchdowns, 20 interceptions.
He can't get away.
Don and I said that he's just Will Levis with a better personality.
No, he's the SEC. He's a 500. Every time touchdown interception ratio.
So his quarterback rating last 3 years, his best was 80.6. Will Levis last year was 81.4. So you don't bring in Jameis Winston because, to Zeph's point, he's the same guy.
And we're just trying to have fun with him.
Yeah. Daniel Jones.
I don't know what this is. What I was telling y'all.
Will be 28
2 months ago.
Will be 28 years old in May. Still young and impressionable. Get him with a quarterback guru. That's what Callahan's supposed to be.
Yep. This is when I had to go defend myself. I was telling y'all this.
He's only going into year 7. Yep. So maybe the Sam Darnold trek there.
Yep.
Can we get, I mentioned this earlier, the 2022 version of Daniel Jones, where he passed the ball for 3,205 yards, ran the ball for 708.
This is what I was telling Taylor Lewan when we was interviewing him.
You were. 22 total touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He had a 92.5 quarterback rating.
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones. Remember Mac Jones, after his rookie year, talked to some people in the league. They're like, the league's figured him out.
Yes.
And so then I was out on him. Since his rookie year, 32 touchdowns, 31 interceptions in 4 seasons. So many of these guys are like
right there.
Same touchdowns to the same interception number. Yep. And that's not everything, but I think it tells you a lot when you're just doing quick capsules. Gardner Minshew, he's only 28. He feels like that dude's
Gardner was way older.
Yeah, like 35 or something. Nope, 28. He'll be 29 in May. Yeah. He's played for 4 teams in the last 5 seasons, 17 and 29 as a starter. Last year, 9 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
I'm cool on them, too.
Me too. Drew Lock, 28 years old, 3 teams in his last 3 seasons, 2 and 8 as a starter. 11 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. There are not any good options, man.
Nah, he could have fooled me maybe a year ago.
Marcus Mariota, 5 different teams in the last 6 seasons. I'll leave it there. Joe Flacco, he's 40.
No.
Going into year 18.
No.
Dawn was on the Joe Flacco train.
Really?
She was yesterday.
Over everybody else on that list.
Because of what Zeph looked up, his contract was good for.
What was going to get $2 million?
The market value was like three and a half or something like that.
Okay. 1 year, $3.5 million. She's like, there you go. Draft Cam Ward, bring Joe Flacco in.
He ain't bad to have as a guy to tutor again.
6-5 his last 2 seasons now. 25 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. He did discover the Fountain of Youth. Yeah, nah, we cool though. Who discovered the Fountain of Youth? Was it Ponce de Leon?
Yeah, I think
we had this conversation.
Yeah, we did.
Because you said LeBron.
Yeah.
I think the conclusion we came to yesterday
this year are comparable to his last MVP season.
I'm not far off.
Man, I almost dropped an F-bomb.
Yeah,
how messed up is that?
Dude.
What were you saying?
I think the conclusion we came to yesterday with the quarterbacks is that
Daniel Jones is the one.
Titans are really stuck here. They do not have a lot of options, and Cam Ward might be their best option.
5 o'clock hour coming up. Stay tuned.
Danny Dimes!
We'll be right back.
Hey, are you all in on baseball like my boy Zeph is back in the control room? Well, guess what? VIP Players Club Zen Sports now offering wagers on NCAA baseball on Zen Sports. Let's go. And if you are a new customer, you should listen to this because they've got some cool stuff going on. If you can't wait for this year's college basketball tournament, Zen Sports has you covered there too with the VIP Players Club Big Bucket Sweepstakes. So here's what they do. You can earn bonus bets on the tournament just by using the Zen Sports app in the month of March. That's where we are now. Sweepstakes only for us in Tennessee, and the grand prize earns a $10,000 bonus bet on the championship game or a $5,000 cash prize, and 20 additional winners get a $100 bonus bet or $50 cash prize. So what do? You can earn entries every day just by betting on the Zen Sports app. You can get 500 bonus entries if you have not signed up for Zen Sports yet. Download the app and use my code. This is how you get your 500 entries. DAWNTN, DAWNTN. You want contest terms and conditions? Go to zensports.com/sweepstakes. Zen Sports betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Qualifying wager for wager entry must have minimum odds for any leg of the entry of at least 250 or worse American odds. Head to zensports.com/sweepstakes. Contest terms and conditions. Got to be 21 and older and in Tennessee to bet.
Good evening. It is 5:04. I'm Joseph Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. Some of the highlights in NFL news today. Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf requested a trade. They also cut wide receiver Tyler Lockett. The Raiders cut quarterback Gardner Minshew. They signed guard Alex Kappa and made Max Crosby the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL with a 3-year extension. The Eagles also re-signed all-pro linebacker Zach Bond to a 3-year deal. And the Jaguars cut Christian Kirk. Earlier today, the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament began in Greenville, where the Lady Vols cruised to a 77-37 win over Texas A&M. They'll face Vanderbilt on Thursday at 10 a.m. Tennessee Baseball currently taking on Xavier right now in a midweek matchup. Xavier currently leading the Vols 1-0 headed to the third inning. Tonight, number 4 Tennessee Basketball will head on the road to face Ole Miss. Tip off for that one at 8 p.m. You can catch the Ball Network call the game right here on the Zone starting at 7:30. For your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once. Your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Man, we're this close to Thursday, Slay Dog.
We are almost there, good people.
So you
best believe I'm in the building. Why? I ain't got no.
So you flew in today. Are you flying out tonight?
I am actually I pushed it back. I am flying out at 5:28 in the morning. I know, huh? You want to hear this crazy schedule?
Your schedule is crazy. Like, I can't even keep up with it. I just randomly write dates down in my book as you get them.
You want to hear it?
Yes, but 5:28 in the morning, people think, oh, well, it's not that busy at the airport. That is one of the busiest times at the airport is that first flight out.
That's the silliest time.
It's crazy.
I shouldn't have made it like that.
You get there and you look around, you're like, why are this many people awake? Much less like fully dressed, showered here. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they didn't shower. I don't know. But
well, fully
what's
dressed.
Your schedule?
So I got FAU at UAB tomorrow.
FAU at UAB.
Florida Atlantic
good.
University. Yeah, UAB.
They're in third place in the AAC.
That's the thing. So when the caller called in and was like, man, they're not really
the conference wasn't good.
Yeah, but man, they are actually okay. Like UAB.
North Texas is second, and they're only a game and a half behind Memphis.
Oh, I mean, they took Jason Edwards from there, so Vanderbilt did. So, I mean, that kind of hurt them, but
that's right.
Rice is right there. Shout out to Coach Lanier. Rob Lanier down there. So, yeah, when I was saying top heavy, that's what I was meaning. But I got FAU at UAB. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Andy Kennedy tomorrow night. 5:28 is the flight. Get there about 8 because I got to fly through Atlanta.
Anthony Kennedy is a cool dude, man.
Super.
I mean,
beyond cool.
He had that thing where he got to he just cursed out the taxi driver.
Yeah, he a little wild, but then, I don't mean he ain't cool just because he's wild.
He's cool.
Yeah,
I forget where we had him. Maybe it was the SEC tournament. And he was walking by or something.
Probably. Yeah, he was on the desk for a while with them.
Yeah.
Got that. Shooter. The game is at. I don't know what time the game is. I think the game is at 6.
The AAC game?
Yep.
Let's see. UAB Blazers, 12-4. They're 2.5 games out of first.
What time's the game, yo?
Well, our internet connection around here.
6 o'clock. ESPN 2 game. So, 6 o'clock.
Slay, the game's at 6 on ESPN 2.
Thank you, yo. So, I ought to be back on the road. I chose not to wait till the next day to fly back.
What?
I chose from Birmingham to... So, it's at UAB at Birmingham.
So you're flying at 5:28.
I'm flying to Birmingham.
You're doing the game. Then you're flying out all in the same day?
No, then I'm going to drive back here that night. Then my flight is out Friday at 1, but it's never a straight flight to Arkansas. So I got to go connection to Charlotte, then Charlotte to Arkansas, do the game. That's an 11 o'clock game, Central. Do that game and then get back on the plane. That night, fly back here. I get back here about midnight because I got to fly through Dallas-Fort Worth. Then Monday.
Oh, you know what Mickey Ryan would say?
What?
There's a Whataburger right there in the in the Dallas.
I'm gonna get one for him too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get one for him, even though we got it here now. But yeah, so,
it is easy though. It's right in the middle. Like they have like a, small towns have the circle downtown.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they have in the middle of that airport.
Really?
It's like a circle full of restaurants.
A little circle.
Yeah,
well, I'll be there.
Okay,
it'll be at night too.
Man, you're like Willie Nelson on the road again.
I'm on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. They got a commercial for that now.
That dude is like 90 something.
He still look the same.
How long do you think he's been smoking weed? Like 80 years?
If he's 90? Yeah. Yes. Who lasts longer, him or Snoop Dogg? Like, who's going to live longer? That's going to be interesting.
Snoop's living his best life.
He's having a blast.
615-737-1045. I don't know how you keep up with this schedule, man.
I don't even, yo. Who? Yovo. You want me to give some away?
3HL Powered by Ferguson Home. Discover the Mount Juliet showroom at 401 South Mount Juliet Road. Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Yeah, you do have a giveaway. We're going to do it here in a couple minutes.
Give it away. Now you better pay attention.
What are you giving away?
I am giving away 2 tickets to see the one and only Eric Clapton.
Slow hand.
At Bridgestone Arena on September the 8th.
I mean, that's one of the greats of all time right there.
Well, you want to see a great, better stay on the line and be great.
I saw him at Thompson Bowling Arena when I went to UT.
Did you?
Yeah, but it was an on-campus venue, so they didn't sell beer at that time. So you're watching Eric Clapton, who one of his biggest songs is called Cocaine.
Hey. You sober as all get out.
I'll tell you this, though. The lights went out, and the first thing I heard behind me was...
it was real.
On me, right behind me.
Yeah, let's get it on.
615-737-1045. Teron Davenport and Jeremy Fowler had a great piece on ESPN.com today about the Titans following the NFL Combine experience last week. A few things on the front end, though. Number one, Mike Borganzi was the hot girl at the bar for a lot of those GMs.
Right.
So, several dudes were whispering sweet nothings into the Titans GM's ear. No question about that.
Supposed to.
Number two, free agency starts next week. Titans will tell you something about their draft plans during free agency.
You need to know.
And that's the other part. We were talking about this with Coach Mack, how great it was to get visits with Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders on site before free agency begins so they can already kind of work their way further down the draft process, evaluation process of those two guys.
Right.
Number three, from TD, according to team sources, the Titans are undecided which direction they'd go with the top overall pick, and I think that makes a lot of sense because they hadn't spent a lot of time with those dudes. Titans met with both Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders in Indy. These are 18-minute interviews. Each team can meet with 45 players in this way, so that's 13.5 hours of interviews.
Quite a few.
With players
moments
at the Combine. Man, wouldn't it all just kind of run together at some point?
It should.
I mean, you can't have that happen, but wouldn't that just be human nature?
Yeah, but when that's why it's important. When you see the one, you remember the one. You lock in on it.
That's right. Carter's going to be here early next week, and then Travis Hunter at the end of the month. They're going to meet with, let's see.
That's who you excited about?
Who?
Who are you excited about for them to meet with?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying they are. Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders this week, Carter early next week, and then they'll meet with two-way star Travis Hunter later this month.
That's who I'm excited for them to meet with.
Coach Callahan said the team has already discussed how it would manage Hunter's workload should they draft him.
That's who I'm excited to meet with.
Callahan said he thinks Hunter is a cornerback first.
Cool with me.
Me too. TD said through talking with dozens of league personnel at the Combine that the consensus is that Cam Ward is the number one quarterback in the draft and by a comfortable margin. However, and this is a quote from the article.
Talk to me.
Again, Teron Davenport and Jeremy Fowler, you can search it out. It's really lengthy and really good. Sanders' pocket passing ability as a deft processor is appreciated and will make for an easy NFL transition. Thus, he becomes a slightly better fit for Brian Callahan's offense in Tennessee, according to multiple scouts. You want to salivate on that for a little while?
Just a second. Okay.
The majority of league personnel surveyed by ESPN believes Tennessee prefers to trade out of the pick.
I heard Ray Bryant talking about that a little bit on RK Dub, too.
We'll bring this back up at in the next segment, but we're going to spend a few minutes with Casey Alexander. Do you want to do your giveaway?
Let me give it away now. All right. It's another chance for you to win tickets from the one and only our buddy, our pal, our sister, Babsy's Prize Closet. Yep. She's not home, so I'm going in there to get the slippers, y'all. I'm going to give them away. Be caller number 5 now to win 2 tickets to see Eric Clapton at Bridgestone Arena on September the 8th. The number is 615-737-1045. Call now for Clapton tickets.
How about that? Up to Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That conversation we just had. Something else. Hey, you need to include me on those things. By the way, Babsy, if you're listening, Tennessee's trailing 1-0. Come to Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram 38HL 1045 The Zone. What am I talking about? Daniel Gupton and his crew, that's who you need to go see for that next new vehicle. Whether you're looking for a new car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, or new to you, car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, they got a tremendous selection of pre-owns. You can check out everything inventory-wise online. GuptonMotors.com is where you go for all the dealership information, address, phone number, directions, inventory, all the deals they have going on right there at Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Best vehicle buying experience you will have ever had. Just go see Tim, I don't know who Tim Gupton is, but go see Daniel Gupton and his crew and let them know what you're looking for, whether you need something with more space, maybe you need something cheaper, maybe you need something with better gas mileage, whatever your needs are, just let them know. They'll point you in the right direction. You'll take your test drive. You'll go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it'll be that easy. Again, 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, just 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Check them out online, GuptonMotors.com. Did you get you a winner, Slay?
I did get a winner. Good job, winners.
This is Eric Clapton, y'all.
Thanks for calling in.
Zeph, who won? Do you know?
Yeah, his name was Gray. Congrats, Gray.
Gray?
Yeah. I like the color.
Okay.
That's
He
got to
was
be a
very
nickname.
excited that he won. He said he was going to take his dad.
You know anybody named Gray?
I know no one named
I know
Gray.
nobody named.
I went to high school with a kid named Gray.
Really?
And there was a kid in one of my college classes named Gray.
Maybe the last names, but not the first name.
Oh, wait, there were
name
two
Gray?
kids in my high school that were named Gray. But they were spelled differently. One with an A, one with an E.
Were they both valedictorians like you? One of the 53 or whatever?
55. No, I don't think so. I actually don't remember.
I corrected Zeph yesterday in the hall on a grammatical error that he made. And he goes, I don't care. I'm still going to say it this way. And I said, I knew you would. I'm just telling you.
Zeph definitely
I'm like, you're a valedictorian. I certainly wasn't.
Yeah.
Maybe Casey Alexander was, Belmont basketball
Hey,
coach.
that's
Casey,
not
were you a valedictorian on any level?
I certainly was not.
Basketball was your outlet.
Yeah, far from it. I finished everywhere I started. I finished. That's all I have to say.
I'm going to start using that one. That's a good one right
I
there.
like that one. That was a good track record right there.
You're a finisher. You're a closer.
Guaranteed.
So I'm curious. You guys get the winner of Illinois State, Missouri State tomorrow. Oh, that game was at 2:30. I was just looking at it. I thought it was at 8:30 tonight. So, damn. There you go. You already know your opponent. In that situation, do you
they
watch?
play tomorrow.
Oh, they play
tomorrow.
They play tomorrow. Then you guys play after that. Okay. In that situation, do you watch that game live, or do you wait and have it cut up?
Yeah, we'll watch it live just because it's a long day and I don't have anything better to do. We're sitting here in St. Louis, so you might as well go do something. But it's the video is really all that we need. We're prepared for either team, regardless of who wins already. To be honest with you.
Casey, what's the biggest key going into tournament play? Is it what would if it's one thing that you would love to have and you could wave your finger and say, "Boom, I got it." What would it be?
Yeah, performance. I think there's so much that goes into tournament play, but if you can kind of assume that everybody is, really good, or it's going to be a really competitive game, and you're going to get everybody's best shot, then it's going to come down to making plays and guys rising to the occasion when the opportunity is there. I mean, it's especially when in a league where there's as much parity as there is, like the Valley. It's just it's what you got to have.
So you get the 4C, which means you get a bye. How helpful is that?
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, I mean, it's been 20-something years since somebody outside of the top four, I think, has won 4 games in a row in this league. So it's definitely important. I think it's a strange year for us. I mean, the Valley. So the best way I can explain it, Missouri State finished last. They're 12th out of 12. Slay's boy, Conzo Martin. They won 2 conference games, but both games against Drake, who finished first and is on the bubble, were overtime games. No, they were both overtime games. They lost them both, but they were both overtime games, including at Drake this past Saturday. So, I mean, it's just it literally is a situation where anybody can beat anybody. So,
How different is it with the change of conference now that you've been in it for a minute?
I enjoy it a lot. It's more fun because of the competitive grind. I mean, it's road games are true road games. The vast majority of teams in this league have, kind of a tradition of fans, and where it's really important. There will be half a dozen teams that bring thousands of people to St. Louis for the tournament. We will not, but there will be a lot of teams that will. And so it's just a much higher level of play, but it's also made it so much more of a grind. To play 20 straight conference games and feel like your life is on the line every time you step out there, it makes for a long January and February.
Casey, the piece that you want to depend on the most, like they tell you, Casey, you can't do any coaching, no hand gestures, no whistling, no plays. Who would you lean on the most to carry your team through? Player-wise.
Yeah, Jonathan Pierre is our first-team all-conference player.
Yeah.
But Carter Witz is also an all-conference guy. He made the third team. Carter's the guy that makes us go. I mean, he's our point guard. he's just when he's bad, we're definitely bad. And so when he's good, we've got. He bears a lot of the burden for our team. There's just no doubt about it.
We were talking about this earlier during a break. I just love how matter-of-fact you are about things.
In case they got time to play around.
I was like, I went to, when you were at Lipscomb, I went to a practice. You guys were about to bus out to go to the NCAA tournament. I was like, boy, he was on one that day. It's like, Casey sounds like the most affable guy, like mild-mannered dude, but, man, that day at practice, you can get after it, can't you?
I'm just me, man. That's the only guy I know how to be. So for better or worse, it's. But I do have people tell me that every now and then. They're like, "Hey, man, you might want to tone it back a little bit. You might be a little bit too direct sometimes."
Have you ever been thrown out of a game?
Last year, last year I was thrown out at Southern Illinois. It wasn't one of those scenarios where I was trying to. It's a long story, but I got 2 technical fouls. I promise you, less than 2 seconds.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. I remember that.
And as a referee that I have had a lot of problems with in the past, and it's just kind of one of those things where I know that we don't see eye to eye, and he knows we don't see eye to eye, and so he was more than ready.
What was funny about that? Now that you mentioned that, I remember that, and it looked like you didn't even say anything to get that second tech.
I used no profanity in either case. I questioned a travel call, and so he gave me the first one, and I said the one word I said was bullcrap. I yelled bullcrap, and he gave me the second one. So, and legitimately bullcrap, nothing else that sounds like that. It was bullcrap. That's what I yelled. So that was history.
So.
Haven't had one this year. No technical fouls this year. So, yeah.
Now, listen, don't go get tossed here on Friday and then blame 3HL. Hey, there's plenty to do in St. Louis, man. You could take the guys to the Arch, or you could go to the Budweiser distributorship, or go see the
Square. They got a great soul food.
I'm looking out my window. I can see the Arch from my window right now.
So you already been.
I've got to look past all the snow flurries and the gray skies, but I can see it.
Yeah, so. You could go see the Clydesdales. They're really big horses. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah.
Seriously, though, food-wise on the Hill, go eat Italian. I know you know that, but.
I do. Yeah, it's a good play. It's a fun place to play this tournament. It's the second longest running tournament in the country. The Big East at Madison Square Garden, and behind that is the Valley here in St. Louis. We play at the Enterprise Center where the Blues play. It's a really well done event.
So the Illinois State, Missouri State winner, they play tomorrow at 2:30. You guys get them on Friday at 2:30, and then you win that one, you get Drake. So. How do you handle the scouting? I know Slay knows the answer to this question, but do you put an assistant on each team and then kind of go from there?
Yeah, we split it up pretty evenly throughout the year, where everybody's got 2 or 3 teams. And then, conference tournament time, you divide and conquer a little bit more because you're dealing with such short turnarounds and just the way the cards fall. It might, you might have one coach that has 2 or 3 teams to get prepared for and somebody else doesn't have any. So we just try to divvy it out. We got plenty of time to get ready. We've got way more information than we need as far as video and analytics and everything else. So you really just try to keep it as basic as you can, because no matter how prepared you are as a coach, your guys can only absorb so much. So you just kind of give them what you think they have to have and
that's interesting.
Play the game. Yeah.
Coach, what is it during the downtime getting ready for this? Because, at some point you got to have a little bit of a mental break from the game.
Yeah, there's a whole lot to do.
Right.
I got a bag of pistachio nuts. I called my wife a little bit ago, told her to make sure to bring the Roku when she comes up tomorrow.
That definitely is important.
Let's get some movies and chill, no doubt.
Yeah. It's we're sinking low. My son was just watching the SEC women's tournament. He was just watching that. So
we're right there on the cusp now, baby.
We're trying to figure it out, man.
So you got Casey Alexander, Belmont basketball coach, calling in. You guys have won 3 in a row, 6-2 in your last 8. What's been the difference coming down the stretch?
Been more healthy. We had a couple of guys out, both post players, and so it just really. we played 3 or 4 weeks with just very limited. Well, we played with no depth, no post depth, and so having those guys back and available kind of allows us to have more size and be better defensively, better rebounding team, have a little bit more versatility with what we can do on both ends of the floor. So that part's kind of all come together at the right time, and we're probably playing better than we've played.
Yeah.
Consecutive those 3 games. If you combine them, it's probably our best 3-game stretch of the year, I would say.
How much does that help the guys mentally, though, to just experience the outcome? I know you're a process guy. We're all that way, but at the end of the day, you do need to experience winning, right? Like to win 3 in a row, that's got to be a good mental advantage going into a tournament. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just human nature. We're no matter what you've put into it, you feel better about it when you're walking in with some confidence and it's been a couple of weeks since you've lost. I put it this way: if we'd lost 3 in a row, I don't think our expectations would be quite as high. It's just kind of the way it all works.
That makes sense.
Well, we appreciate the conversation, man. It was fun. You sound like you're bored in a hotel room.
Yeah, y'all call me back later if you need something.
Here he is, Casey Alexander, Belmont, playing Friday at 2:30. Check him out. Thank you, Casey. Good luck to you guys,
Coach. Okay, man. Y'all just call me back later. Dude, that downtime is serious, man.
Right? Like,
and
just
you got to go and get there. Yeah, you need to go and get there, especially with inclement weather like that.
Well, you've got your practice sessions to get ready for that. But outside of that,
that's a lot of downtime.
I can see the yards right now.
Dude, they don't play till the 7th.
They play Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what you doing? You can't just keep on practicing. Like, what are we doing? That's what's up, though. Yeah, man. I forgot Conzo was up there.
Imagine if Casey took his team from Belmont University on a tour at Budweiser.
Man, we got to do something.
These are the ideas that I come up with for him.
Do something, Coach.
The Hill, though, in St. Louis is serious Italian food, dude.
Nah, I'm telling you, they got a soul food restaurant up there, too, that's good.
They do?
Yeah, that mother's phenomenal.
So Joe Garriozola grew up, like you can see all these old like baseball players where they grew up in this particular neighborhood. There's like Italian flags flying and stuff. Like they've been there for like hundreds of years. But yeah, St. Louis.
That ain't a bad drive either. We went about my only time going up there was when the SEC tournament was there.
Yeah, why was the SEC tournament there? Come on now,
Missouri, man.
I know
Missouri.
Why we got to placate everybody?
They had to go to Tampa. Like who's trying to go?
That one was dumb too.
Yeah, that was the one we won.
I know.
It's hard for us to win in Nashville for some reason.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Dynamite drop it, Monty.
Simple as that, y'all. I ain't got a clue. How about that? I know I got Blair Durham was in the chat.
We saw Blair today.
Yeah.
Hung out with Blair Durham today. He's going to be doing some stuff with 3HL and 104.5 The Zone, and we appreciate him.
And we know everybody's wondering, yes, Blair said we're going to be in a commercial soon, y'all.
Did he?
Nope. But in my mind,
I was going to say.
I was kind of
He always has a great way of answering me when I ask him about doing being in one of his commercials. You come away thinking, he said yes, and then you think about it for a minute, and you're like, he really didn't say yes.
No, I'm going to tell you the best thing, though.
The one time I asked him, he goes, can you chase a chicken?
See what I'm saying?
And then the next thing I know, he was doing a commercial where a guy was chasing a chicken.
So he was for real.
Yeah.
See, I try to hit him from all different angles because I know some people that he knows.
Yeah.
So I tell them to tell him. You can't tell everybody no. You know what I'm saying? Like you're going to run out of stuff.
Him.
Yeah, I told him direct before. But I kind of no, he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
I mean,
that makes it easy for him to use Jedi mind tricks on us.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, he know the game, so I got to play a different game than he's playing.
You started to say, I know one thing, and then I interrupted you, and you probably don't remember.
It's a good thing, though. The one thing was.
All right.
That I can't remember.
OVC tournament is in Evansville, Indiana. TSU is the 3 seed. They received a bye in the first round.
Way to go, State. They put it on at the end of the season, man.
They did, and we were tracking that.
Yes,
that little run, and wasn't a little run. They had like 4 games on the road.
Yes,
down the stretch, and had to get it done. But congrats to those guys. They will play in the quarterfinals tomorrow, so they're automatically in the quarterfinals. They will play at 8:30. This is where I got lost with Casey.
Okay.
They will play 8:30 against tonight's winner between 6 seed Lindenwood and 7 seed Morehead State. Those guys play at 8:30. If TSU wins tomorrow, they'll play SIUE Friday night at 9:30 in the OVC semifinals.
All right.
So win 2 games.
You know.
And you're there with a chance to play in the NCAA tournament.
Man, I would love that for Penny. That's so needed. He deserves it. Deserves to win is their moniker.
I love that.
Yep.
Conference USA, MTSU is just a half game behind Jacksonville State for first in Conference USA with 2 regular season games left. They are tied for second with Liberty. MTSU plays Liberty tomorrow at the Glass House, and they want you to pack it out over there. The winner will have a chance to win the conference. Jacksonville State has only one more game left, so the winner Thursday in the Borough will pull into a first-place tie, trying to get that 1 seed in the tournament.
That's that's regular season. Man, Jacksonville State been on a little run.
Mm-hmm.
That's Marcus Fitzgerald Jr. went there, so he's injured right now, but he'll be back next year. It's still his team. So,
by the way, one more note about TSU. The finalists for the Ben Jobe Award.
Yes.
HBCU coaches listed. One of them is Penny Collins.
Come on, Penny.
TSU.
Penny. That's from the one.
Tell Tyra she left her toothbrush at my house.
One of the greatest commercials. Penny.
Tell Tyra she left her toothbrush at my house is a great line. I don't even remember what the commercial was for. His shoes, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Penny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out, Vandy Chris. Shout out to you. He said you have to check out the tweet from Greg Sankey about an hour ago.
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
I loved it.
Zeph sent it. We'll do that in the
loved it
in the next segment. One more quick local note. A-Sun. Lenny Acuff was named Coach of the Year of the A-Sun yesterday. Lipscomb basketball coach.
Yeah, what's up?
They are in the A-Sun semifinals. The number 1 seed Bisons host the 6 seed Queens University Thursday at 7 o'clock at Allen Arena. If they win, they'll play the Jacksonville, North Alabama winner for the A-Sun tournament title and a trip to the NCAA tournament on Sunday. Lipscomb has won 9 of its last 10 basketball games. All right, so there's your update there. Greg Sankey went at Danny Cannell. That's a very unexpected thing. It's interesting. That's next year at 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening? 615-898-9367. That's the number. Why you need that number? Because you're probably out there dealing, with a little misunderstanding. The misunderstanding is within you. Erectile dysfunction, people. Yeah, what's up, fellas? I'm talking to you. It's a new year, and it's time for you to get out of that frustration. Get those results you're looking for in the bedroom. Erectile dysfunction is not just happening just to anybody out there, but it could be happening to you. Now, these issues can be caused by a number of things. Could be testosterone, could be something else. Bottom line, you don't know until you see Game Day. So go there. They got 2 locations for you to choose from, Green Hills and right there in Hendersonville, and it's easy. All you got to do and need is 10 seconds. Grab your phone, go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. At the top of the page, click Book Appointment, pull up to one of the 2 locations, name, phone number, and email address is all you need. That's it. Someone from Game Day will call you and set up an appointment. And in 15 minutes, you will have your lab results back. Now, all you got to do is call or text 615-898-9367. Get in the game today. GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay. In the middle of our conversation with Casey Alexander, I went to Zeph's ear and said, man, Casey's having a good time today. And Zeph goes, and then I used this line. Zeph said, he's in a hotel room by himself. I'm like, yeah.
Smart, Zeph.
I think we all know what that does after a while.
Drive you up the wall.
Up the wall. Remember, Wayne Chisholm was the same way. Remember we put him on from overseas, and he was so excited to talk with us, and you were like, yeah, man, because you're sitting in that room, and it's like concrete walls, and you're doing nothing.
Man, nothing to do. Just sit there and play the game. Keep on Skyping and video chatting people. Like, dude, leave people alone.
So
everybody else got something to do for real.
I used the line on Casey, like, man, you seem like you're having a good time. He's like, yeah, y'all call me back. I said, you must be alone in a hotel room. He said, yeah, y'all call me back later.
Heck yeah.
I forgot about him getting tossed last year. That was hilarious.
I remember that.
You go back and watch the video of that, he did nothing to get tossed.
So didn't. We said it. There had to be something the ref had against him. Don't do that to him this year, ref. Whoever you are. Little man.
How you know he's a little man?
Little than me. Smaller than me.
You can always say that.
Everybody is smaller than you, Slay.
No, what I'm saying.
That's why I don't even understand why you do this like hair stuff that you got going on. Like nobody can see up there.
Oh, I can. I can see up there. I know it.
Also, Ramon can probably see up there.
Ramon's shorter than me. He can't see up there.
Not by much.
No, by quite a bit.
Well, like 2 inches?
Yeah.
Have you not been around this little debate long enough to know? Don't bring up this thing.
2 inches and a quarter.
You're like a 1.5 taller than me, so.
Yeah, I'm about. That's all. That's like me with Savage too. I'm about 1.5 taller than him.
Zeph sent us the most unexpected Twitter feud.
I loved it. Look at Laura. Laura said, "Here we go." I'm telling you, Laura. This got Savage short, man. Hey, listen, y'all care about him the same way.
If Savage at 6'6" is short, then what am I?
Yeah, don't let that change the opinion of Savage though, just because he's shorter than me. That's all I'm saying. He's still a big dog. I'm just a bigger dog.
His height is not his personality.
There he goes, though. Whatever that means.
What does that mean?
But it is Slay's because he's taller than everybody.
Yeah, see, good job, Joe.
Oh, do you want me to respond to that? Sorry, I was watching Tennessee baseball.
What score is that?
They're up 2-1. Andrew Fisher, Ole Miss transfer, hit his 4th home run in the last 3 games.
Let's go.
Have you been reading psychological books, like self-help books or something? Where is this coming from?
Me? No. That was off the dome.
Off the dome. How to win friends and influence people? You got Dale Carnegie going on in there?
No, I got Zeph back here.
Boy, it's a good thing that we don't have another hour with Zeph going into this kind of character.
This character right, this is a Zeph I don't give a damn character right here.
Remember how Don last week was saying the week was going super slow? Yeah.
This one is, huh?
This one is going slow.
Slay, do you even know this story?
What?
Don on Monday, we were all here. And then remember, me and Don went down to Dave Elliott's office to see where they are budget-wise. Mm-hmm. So Dave came in to explain something to Dawn. And so Dawn, we're getting ready to leave. She's got that big-ass backpack on. And she goes, man, this week has been something. And Dave goes, it's only Monday. She goes, oh. And, I go, and we haven't even done our first show of the week.
He did anything. No, I said I missed that with my girl. Darn, Babsy.
So Ken Pomeroy does these basketball projections and seedings and real analytics guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He tweeted, why hasn't anyone said the SEC is overrated? So Danny Cannell jumps on this because he's going to on the SEC.
Can't wait.
The smartest man in basketball is saying out loud what I've been thinking for the past 3 months. Thank you, at Ken Pomeroy. So Greg Sankey quote tweeted all of that and wrote, the commissioner of the SEC, quote tweeted and wrote, just helping explain why the at SEC is, quote, overrated, end quote. 30 wins, 4 losses against the ACC. Wow. 14 wins, 2 losses versus the Big 12. Oh, my. 10 wins, 9 losses versus the Big 10. Thumbs up emoji. 185 wins, 23 losses in non-conference games the smiling sunglass emoji. And the funny thing is, his emojis are all yellow, like The Simpsons. Like he hadn't changed them.
Yep.
I confess that SEC teams have a 500 record in conference games. Sure, let's go with overrated.
Yeah, smart right there.
Hey, Danny Cannell. Thanks, Don.
I love having Danny on because he says things like that.
Yes, he does.
And then we have fun with it.
Oh, he's gonna go with the ACC without question. Hey, we got 2 things we got to do.
What we got to do?
We got to do parsley. Oh, we got time. We got plenty.
We got plenty of time.
I bet you are.
No, you're good. What's the second thing we have to do? I gave out Don's
I got a shout out. Oh, when?
Beginning of the show when you were taking care of business.
Okay, that's cool then.
Was that what you were going to do?
Yep, that was exactly what I was going to do.
I think we can do it again.
All right, we can double back.
Yeah.
I thought I had another shout out.
We'll save that one for your outro.
How about for...
That's what I was going to do with that one.
Oh, well, you can.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Shout out to Willie Nelson. On the road again. I always thought... Why
do you say road?
Because that's the way it sounds to me. It doesn't sound like he says road.
You're not Elmer Fudd, you're...
It sounds like he says on the road again. Can you find Willie Nelson on the road again and see if it sounds like an R or a W?
It's definitely an R.
I'm looking for that.
The Zeph machine.
Zeph's on one right now.
I love it. Or against me. To bring me my money.
Are you going to give both parslays? Because I'm not going to know if I'm against you or with you.
No, I'm giving them just one.
Just one? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
A real one. Even though I got 2 other ones.
They're little baby parslays?
All of these are baby parlays, slays. Parlay slays.
All right, here we go. I've never heard you said the word parlay.
And that was an accident.
Yeah.
That was a crash. Wasn't nothing accidental about that.
All right. Parsley, what you got?
I'm trying to get to it, yo.
Oh, sorry.
No, cool.
Did you know that daylight savings time is this weekend?
This weekend?
Mm-hmm.
So we spring forward.
Spring forward.
I'm going to lose some sleep.
Don't get caught up in the moment detail. Get caught up in the big picture of Monday. What you see outside is 6:52 p.m.
Yo, we're going to be so tired, dog.
We're not going to be tired. You'd be tired for one day. You're tired all the time because you work 8,000 hours a week.
It's because we're going to lose an hour, dog.
For one moment in time. But we're going to have daylight when we leave here.
Let me ask you something, though.
Every day.
That's
By
cool.
Wednesday, you'll be like, man, I'm glad it's light out here.
Yeah. This I want to know. Where does that hour go?
Exactly. Why do we continue to do this?
No, that's what I'm saying. Because we can get it back. We don't ever get to see it again until the fall.
I don't want to see it again. I want to stay here.
Let's fall back and then stay there.
No. Because then it's dark at 4:30.
All right. Everybody ready for the parsley?
Did that allow you enough time to follow?
Yeah, I found it. Good job. My boy know what to do. All right, here we go. Here we go. Savage, Laura was trying to take over for you. I don't know what got into her. But here we go. Parsley, 3-team parsley, 3-leg parsley, y'all. Florida at Alabama. Florida plus 3.5. Missouri at Oklahoma.
Wait, Florida plus 3.5.
Yep.
All right.
Missouri, and I ain't changed none of these lines. I know everybody like, say I always do the lines. Missouri at Oklahoma. Missouri money line. Tennessee at Ole Miss.
This is the one I want to hear.
Tennessee minus 2.5.
Wait, what?
Yes. That'll get you plus 440.
You've done some thinking over there.
I have. And
You sounded like you were really nervous about Tennessee and Ole Miss tonight.
Kind of was.
Not so much anymore?
Nope.
You've talked yourself into it?
Talked to my guy, Big Skinny. Big Skinny came through.
Big Skinny who wants to throat punch Kentucky fans?
Yes, and we are all for that.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. No, you're right. No, we're not. I love y'all. I love y'all Kentucky fans until we play y'all. Then y'all can become Kentucky fans.
We do not condone violence on this show.
No. Oh, I know what I got to shout out. I knew I had something. Hey, man, shame on.
Wait. Violence made you think of this shout out?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it should be violence on this. It's violence that Camille Pierre is not on the All-SEC team.
Oh, yeah, Vandy.
She's a walking double 20 and 10, dog.
Blake's got all the attention.
Yeah, I could give a damn. Like, we know what Blake is. Both of them should be. Man, hey, y'all, whoever got to fix that, I said it last night on the SEC Network, that's a shame. 20-10 walking.
Yeah.
That's
just walking in the building.
Dog, like, get up out your bed. I got 20-10.
The team had to put out an announcement. It was so bad.
Did they? What'd they say, sir?
Oh, go to Vandy Women's Basketball on their Twitter.
You should have been able to tell me.
Well, I just know that they said it was a travesty.
Oh, come on, Zeph.
Travesty is a good word for it.
That's wrong, man.
Okay.
That is dead wrong.
It is.
Just like, who was it? Last year, Zakai was left off the Bob Cousy award list.
Mm-hmm.
That was wrong. This year, you own it. National Player of the Year defensively.
Yeah.
Jemai Mashack.
You've said it since the offseason.
Yep.
I've heard others copycat you.
I heard that too. That's boy. Hey, boy. Sometimes they just listening.
All right, this is
listening
what
and stealing.
Vandy Women's Basketball head
Ryman
coach
and
Shay
stealing.
Ralph said.
Okay.
My staff and I are extremely disappointed that Camille didn't receive any All-SEC honors. She's
That's
having an
crazy.
All-SEC type of season and is putting up numbers that are among best in the nation. Then goes on to describe how good she's been, basically top 4 in every major statistic. And then they say our team would not be successful in this season without her incredible contributions all year long.
There's no question. Before Michaela Blake started going off like that, it was Camille Pierre. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
To the point
They're
where
wrong,
anytime I mentioned Michaela Blake and what she did, you would
I
always
said
mention
every time. And I say, man, if she's doing this with a girl that averages 20-10 on her team.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Y'all, hey, who voted on this? It wasn't me.
I have a Naismith vote. You want to help me with it later?
Yes. Do I get to help?
I don't know.
You know I'm picking every
Listen,
time.
man, I need reps.
It's a Tennessee player every single time.
I need reps.
Okay.
Especially college basketball. Why do I have a Naismith vote? That's fair.
You asking that question?
That's a fair question. All right, Babs back at it tomorrow. Slay Dog's got SEC responsibilities. Appreciate you guys. We certainly are thankful that you include us in your day. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take it lightly. Hope you have a great night. Good night. God bless.
See ya.
Wouldn't want to be you unless you were getting a shout out to the Vanderbilt Radiology, and the pet scan team.
All of those guys.
All of them. Thanks for helping our four-legged partners in life.
No, it was the mother-in-law, Becky.